Hello, Internet. This is Matt. I just wanted to get out in front of this upcoming episode to kind of talk about what it is for those who aren't aware. What this is the first episode of a new series I'll be doing with my friend Zach, where we cover more horror-related topics. It's much more relaxed, that there will be swearing as opposed to my normal content, and the nature of what we discuss will be very graphic. This episode in particular is cannibalism, and we cover several movies, several real-life incidences. We do spoil several movies, namely Bone Tomahawk, The Parents, Microwave Massacre, Raw, and then Cannibal Holocaust. So if you don't want to be spoiled or aren't really sure you want to hear graphic content like that, then skip this one. You won't really be sorry. Hello, Internet. This is Matt as himself with a special guest, my good friend Zach.
Hello.
Here for a very special episode of the show, something we're calling the Midnight Hour.
It's super spooky.
Extra spooky because we live in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, everything is spookier in Florida, that's a fact.
So the theme of the Midnight Hour is that it is a show where we discuss more graphic topics, horror-themed ideas.
Graphic.
Especially with this first one.
Yeah. Graphic.
But yeah, so
Name of the game is graphic.
Anything we want, like cryptids and ghosts, horror stuff.
Spooky stuff, mostly horror movies.
Just horrible things about life will be involved.
Yeah.
But so we decided to start very strong. I mean, I guess I did, because I kind of was like, hey, Zach, you want to do the show?
You definitely did.
And you were like, sure.
I mean, this whole thing is your idea. So yeah, you definitely decided everything.
Well, yeah.
But my leash got tugged real hard, so here I am.
So tonight we're going to be discussing cannibals. Real-life examples, a lot of movies we really love that involve it, and ending with a kind of a special review of the most notorious cannibal film, Cannibal Holocaust, which
The seminal cannibal film.
which you had never seen.
I'd never seen, but I'm excited to talk about.
So I guess right off the top, we're gonna kind of not discuss things such as like Texas Chainsaw,
Right.
or Alive, any movie that are just like the default.
What I'll say about Texas Chainsaw Massacre is, if you've never seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, go watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It is an American classic, and you're doing yourself a favor. To be honest, that's what I think.
Yeah, we're for the show. We're always gonna try and avoid things that we have nothing new to say.
Yeah,
essentially.
dude, for sure. You're gonna get, there's paragraphs to be, I don't even know what you'd call it. There's nothing.
Yeah, it's if it's a horror movie channel on YouTube or something, it's probably covered
Yeah,
Texas
for
Chainsaw
real.
at some point.
And they're not doing their job properly if they haven't. It's a goddamn American classic. Go out and watch it. You're doing yourself a disservice if you've never seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And this limitation will always also apply to people like Jeffrey Dahmer or anyone else. Anybody else that's like a real big name. We have a
The
couple.
real world component of it. Yeah. You know who Jeffrey Dahmer is.
Yeah.
Or you should.
Yeah, we do have a few real life ones we're going to discuss, but yeah, we're going to try to avoid ones I feel most people know about. So, I mean, first off, what do you feel about cannibalism?
What do I feel about cannibalism?
Like when it comes up in like a true crime sense or like a gut reaction
I
to
feel-
people eating.
Right. People eating. One-eyed, one-horned.
Flying purple people
Eating. Well, it takes a special kind of psychopath, really, to consume human flesh. Like,
It's always the thing that when you hear somebody did it, it's like, excuse me?
Pardon me?
Yeah, I mean, that's why that whole, like, bath salts thing down in Miami was so big, was, I think if you just killed that guy...
And didn't try to eat him a little bit?
We would have forgot pretty quick. It really eating him was, like, what really pushed him over the top.
He tried to eat him. He didn't eat the whole thing.
He got a lot of them. I've seen the pictures. It's not...
Oh, did you?
It's not good.
Well, no, none of it's good.
I mean, no, it's awful. But yes, I've seen the bath salt zombie pictures. It's...
I want to say I did too when it first came out. When it first came out, like it's a movie. But when it first happened, I saw some pictures, but I don't know. Cannibalism is just one of those things where, like, it's hard to be surprised by because it's just been around for thousands of years, bare minimum. People have been eating people longer than there have been people.
Is that possible?
Oh, actually, no, it's not possible. Monkeys have been eating monkeys, and then monkeys turned into people, and then people started eating people. And it just never stopped, really.
Sure.
2019, there's still cannibalism going on probably right now.
Yeah.
Somebody's eating somebody.
Sure.
Right now.
I'm always a little more intrigued when I find out, like, because you said it, it's a special kind of person.
Yeah. There's an extra layer of crazy when you start eating people.
And there's, like, even more, like, with the like, bath salts guy, it was, like, super aggression, like, focused.
Well, yeah, when you're naked in the streets, tackling somebody, biting his face.
So, like, that's interesting on its own, but I feel also the flip side is kind of like when you find out somebody was, like, doing a lot of prep work into preparing it, like, cooking and
absolutely,
preserving.
Yeah. If you got recipes set aside,
it's like, okay.
Okay, buddy.
Sure.
You know exactly, you got some rosemary you're going to throw in there, some nice, essence of blueberry I'm going to fucking throw into this human flesh. It's going to
be
nice.
Good.
Nice, dude. Succulent.
Super nice.
Super succulent, moist human flesh. That's what I'm trying to get in my dishes.
All right,
man.
So, I mean...
Brutal.
Yes.
Fucking brutal. I mean, what do you say? What are you supposed to say? How do I feel about cannibalism? I'm not a fan. Not a fan. And it takes some fucking gusto. I'll say that.
Sure.
To not only because already, if you're gonna like delve into it in like a true crime avenue, right? If you're gonna look at it from the true crime lens, you're already killing a guy.
Yeah.
And then you gotta not only kill a guy, but you gotta butcher a guy. And then you gotta not only butcher a guy, but you gotta start eating a guy.
Yeah.
In whatever state of preparation, because I'm sure there's cannibal guys out there who are eating just, sushi style, straight raw.
Yeah.
But I know of at least a couple cases where some chef activity has been brought to the table. I don't want to say bring to the table. It seems gross in this particular.
When it's people.
Yeah, when it's people, you don't want to bring it to the table. Unless they're alive and meeting your parents and they're very nice.
Oh, that's good. I mean, yeah, I'm fascinated by it, but it does often end up being almost a throwaway for me with a lot of it does tend to become standard, which is messed up to say that I can be like, I'm just not impressed by eating people anymore.
Yeah, it's like it breeds a certain hesitance to talk about it with such reckless abandon. You don't want to be comfortable with cannibalism.
And yet, honestly,
and yet, it's 2019, man.
It's rough. And I have that with a lot of the topics on this show are going to be things I am hopelessly comfortable with at this point.
Oh, well. And hopefully the viewership is too. Sure. Because we're not going to be talking about anything we don't enjoy talking about. However dark that may seem to the layman, and disgusting for sure.
Flat out disgusting.
It's gonna be work. It's gonna be a chore to get through all this shit. I'm gonna do it.
Some of it. We have some fun ones lined up that aren't so heavy.
Absolutely. It's gonna be fun, but people shouldn't think it's fun.
You should never
Don't think cannibalism is fun.
But yeah, you should never like glorify it in any way.
It is badass sometimes in movies.
Remember, kids, do not glorify cannibalism. Except it's badass.
Except it's fucking badass sometimes. In movies, though. Never in real life is it badass. I can't think of one real life case of cannibalism that I know about where after I heard about it, I was like, badass. Never once.
Not in real life.
But in movies, though, shit is metal. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that'll bring us to... we both prepared for this by watching just a couple of cannibal movies. Watched, refreshed on a few. I know you have a couple interesting picks.
Matt prepared a lot more than me.
I'm awful.
As per usual.
The second I was like, I can watch cannibal movies? I have like 7 I can watch again.
Yeah. I had to look up ones I could watch that weren't just Texas Chainsaw Massacre 9 times. So... so, I mean, as far as some of the ones, I know we both watched the recent, like not recent, but we both watched Bone Tomahawk, which has a hill tribe, essentially. I love Bone Tomahawk. I really like it a lot.
It's hardcore Western, super dry, very well paced. Everybody in it is acting their little hearts out.
The actors were so well chosen. They were so well casted for this movie, and already modern westerns are so good at being bleak.
Yeah,
better than old westerns used to be, where there would just be like guys with spaghetti sauce exploding out of their chests and stuff.
Sure.
And that's which is fun. I like watching those old westerns too. I like them a lot. Mm-hmm. But the modern westerns are so much more realistic and so much more just nasty and gritty. Yeah. And I feel like it paints a better picture of what life was like back then, truly. And when you start adding mutant, hill cannibals to that.
The thing with Bone Tomahawk is it doesn't, despite the disemboweling that happens right up front, it does not prepare you for literal body-modified, cave-dwelling mutants.
Yeah, they're orcs, man. They're like goblins. They're hill goblins.
They're super nuts.
They are. They're like... And that's true. At the beginning scene, it's Sid Haig and David Arquette.
David Arquette, yeah.
And they're murdering somebody in their sleep. They're ambushing these people who are asleep at their camp just to steal their shit for no other reason than life is brutal out here.
Sure, yeah.
Just honestly just get by for another day. Mm-hmm, slitting people's throats and stealing their shit. And then they get... No, because just Sid Haig gets murdered.
Yeah. I mean,
later
David Arquette gets it, but...
When he rolls up on that, the ceremonial...
The burial ground area?
Yeah. I don't even know what it is. It's like a spot they were doing some ritual or something. And, Sid Haig gets murked, pretty much right away.
Immediately.
Why? Because he was old and sick and didn't want to be walking through the desert for as many days they needed to shoot, which is fine. So David Arquette makes it to this town frantically because he's being pursued by...
It's called, Bright Hope?
Yeah, something like that, right?
Super not fitting.
Well, it was fitting at the time.
You think that's a thing? That life was just so shitty that all the towns were just called, Happy Time? Or
right, yeah.
Or come on down to Good Times.
Again...
Why is your town just called Clean Drinking Water?
Dude, Sunrise City probably isn't the spot to be. The happier your town sounds, the more horrible things happen in it.
I'm just gonna head on down to Woke Up Breathing. Oh my God.
That's horrible.
It's
because nobody did, probably.
It's fucked up.
There's just a town called definitely not riddled with tuberculosis. That's a long name for a town.
It's like acronym it down.
Yeah, obviously, you can't say I got to go down to definitely not riddled with tuberculosis to pick up some horse feed and some jerky.
So yeah, David Arquette, they encounter one of these troglodytes, and Sid Haig is killed, and David Arquette kind of runs.
They legitimately call them troglodytes too, which is interesting.
Yeah, I was like, I think it's like one of the first times, only times I've ever even heard that uttered outside of like a D&D manual, honestly.
I've heard it said a bunch of times, but never. I mean, I couldn't tell you
I call
movie.
people troglodyte a lot.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'm annoyed.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so like Sid Haig runs back to this town, and
No, David Arquette.
Sorry, and must lure them. They must track him because they say the town's like 5 days away or some shit like that.
Do they?
They say it's because the trek to get to where they live.
Well, I mean, everything. It's the Old West, man. Everything is a week away from everything else.
But like the dedication of those things hunting him across the
Well,
place.
what the fuck else they have to do?
I don't know. I just feel like they could have caught him before he got to town.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
Maybe.
it's pretty common that anything
We'll see where it goes.
anything you let run is going to lead you to more of it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Almost always.
It's just funny. I always thought it was funny that he made they make it look so hard to do that trip when they go out there to save some people.
Right. Well, it's hard for regular townsfolk,
Sure,
but not for these.
Yeah. No, I mean David Arquette just makes it fine.
Not super fine.
Yeah. So yeah, he gets.
I mean, he's finer than. He's finer than you think it should be, I guess.
Wilson.
Yeah. Well, Patrick Wilson's he's missing a leg the whole fucking time.
Yeah, so he gets hunted back to town, and during the night they kind of raid and like steal 3 people.
They steal David Arquette himself because he gets put away in jail in one of the most metal Western scenes because he goes into the bar, and then Kurt Russell, who is just a goddamn national treasure, and of course plays the sheriff in this movie. He goes to intercept him at the bar, talks a little bit of shit just to make sure this guy is an undesirable, and I think he shoots him in the foot or something.
He tells him, if you reach for a piece, I will shoot you immediately.
Yeah.
And he does. He kind of moves a little too quick at one point, and just boom.
That's it.
No hesitation.
Of course, because it's Kurt Russell in a Western. And I think we've all learned by now that's a force to be reckoned with. So, yeah, they put him in a jail cell. You start to hear, there's these howls going on.
Oh, the
These,
howls
like,
was
just
good.
unearthly howls. And then just people start disappearing. Oh, yeah, because they bring the main Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
I think it's his name, right?
The actor? Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Night Owl.
We should Google it. Yeah, Night Owl from Watchmen. His wife is the doctor of the town.
It's almost worse. She's not the doctor. She's she's a doctor. The actual doctor was too drunk.
Is that so?
Yeah, remember because what's his face? Bruder. Bruder says when he shows up, he's like, well, the doctor was a little too in his vodka, so I brought his stuff.
Right. Right. I should have watched this one again, maybe. But you know what? No. I like bullet points.
Sure.
And we got stuff to talk about. I'm not going to...
Yeah, they steal Patrick Wilson's wife, David Arquette, and the deputy, who is somebody.
Yeah.
He's not in the movie long enough, really.
Honestly, he's... Man, that poor deputy.
We know why he's in the movie, honestly.
Yeah, he's in the movie to be the guy who is honestly the star of the movie.
The deputy?
Yeah, the deputy's just that's his main reason for being in the movie is the star of the movie.
Yeah.
Because the deputy, starting from his butthole, is split in half to his head, I assume.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not great.
It's fucking surprising.
It's everybody's surprised.
Nothing prepares you for the level of violence at that point. And like they start splitting him, and like they kick his like junk and guts loose.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Casually too. Mm-hmm. Like, what's so horrifying is they've done it before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is normal.
This is not the first guy that they've halved in this fashion. It doesn't seem that way.
Sure.
Anyway.
Oh no.
They're so nonchalant. Nobody's they don't look like they're inventing it.
Yeah, they definitely just look like this is routine. Like they split everybody.
They're not figuring it out. They're doing, okay, this is another dude that we're just going to turn upside down.
Yeah.
Peel in half.
That's another thing the movie does that's really impressive. Like I said, it doesn't prepare you for that because most of the movie is just them trekking.
It shouldn't
to save them. No, it's great. Most of it's just them trekking to get there, and then they get captured, and then you're just like in the clutches of these monsters.
In the clutches is a good way to put it because there's, no way out. Not to gloss over the trek though, because the trek is super cool, I think. Because that's where you really get into, like, the meat of the Western, the way I like it.
Yeah.
Where there's just people out there, they try to prepare best they can, but there's just there's just elements.
Itself.
Yeah, there's the elements of this world you can't really be prepared for, whether it's somebody rolling up to your camp, or whether it's just the landscape itself. And
one of you's hurt.
Patrick Wilson is injured the whole time, and they have to, like... They're debating leaving him behind.
Yeah, and he won't go, and so they have to start doing, like, relay race stuff.
Right, yeah.
He goes ahead while they pack up camp, and then they catch up and overtake and leave rocks so he can follow, and... It's a rough movie in, like, a good way. Like, it was always engaging, and it did something that most other cannibal movies wouldn't do. It never cut back to the hostages. Like, it's not until the main cast gets there that you see what they do. So you have no clue what's going on. Like, I think a lesser movie would have constantly cut back.
Yeah, to have the
like focus on like prisoners
and try and raise the stakes, kill a couple before the heroes even get there, just to keep you interested and stuff. That's a good point to bring up, because it keeps you with the characters more. The fact that you don't understand, they could all be dead by the time they get there. You never know.
You're worried just as much.
Matthew Fox in this movie, is just a king among men. I'll tell you what.
Only character whose name I remember, because I every time I was like, fucking Bruder. That's right. He's so good. Everything he said was so like
perfect,
like decisive and smug. And
just smug enough to make you believe it.
Oh yeah, like confident as hell. And he's kind of like maybe the worst guy in the group, but at the same time like
morally,
I think he's the most gray, because he's so mean and kind of hateful, but he's super polite all the time.
Polite to people he deems civilized. But this was just a time where brutality was a necessity, and sides were picked long before this dude ever stepped into the conflict.
Yeah.
And I think he said he had some, like, natives killed his family?
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, natives killed his family when he was like a kid, and he gloats about it a lot. Like, I've killed more natives here than anybody.
I'm one of the only white people who has a reason to kill as many of these motherfuckers as I can find.
He's great in every
He is good in the movie. Excellent. He's like the only guy who... Okay, so after the abduction happens, they have to round up a posse, obviously, to go get these people back, because what are you going to do? Just write them off? Not exactly going to happen. So
at least one of them is almost invaluable, being a doctor.
Necessary, right? So they have to, they have to round up a posse and say, okay, you have 15 minutes, and we'll meet at this place, and we'll just head out from there. He's the only guy who comes back and didn't even change his clothes.
Yeah,
he just came back and was
ready.
Okay, I thought we were just gonna leave.
Yeah, I like that he volunteers, because he was the one who brought Patrick Wilson's wife to the prison that night, like to the jail. So he feels like adjacently responsible.
A little bit responsible. Well, there's responsibilities to his character too, because he's like, well, I'm the most capable at killing
natives.
Yeah, because it's honestly, it's what I've devoted a bunch of my life to up until this point. So you all are probably gonna die if I don't go with you. Which is just... The way he plays it, too, is just so up his own ass.
Unwavering confidence.
It's really is fantastic. He nails it.
He never like he doesn't make it.
No.
But
Also, spoilers for every single movie we're talking about.
oh yeah, spoilers. Some of these are old though, so on you really. But he like
That's a fact.
yeah he
If you bitch about spoilers for Cannibal Holocaust, I will come to your house personally.
because you were never gonna watch it.
No, you were never gonna watch it. I'm gonna TP your house.
But like later when he gets his hand chopped off and he's like he's not gonna make it. And
Yeah.
the first thing it's like no you leave me. I'm too vain to live. I'm a cripple.
Yeah, I'm far too vain to live as a cripple.
And he's just like that unwavering confidence.
That part, okay, this movie had me from the trailer. I knew I was gonna watch it because there is a scene in the trailer where one of the hill cannibals, one of the hill goblin cannibals, tackles Kurt Russell to the ground, and he's just like shoving a bone in his mouth. And the look on Kurt Russell's face, this Kurt Russell. Where's he been? Has he done movies before this?
Oh, you might have heard a little thing go, Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China. Anyway, the look on his face, it just sells it so hard. He's horrified and has no idea what's going to happen to him.
Like,
the brutality of it is just so... It's beautiful. It's brutal and brief.
there's that part when Bruder is like, I'm gonna sneak around and check it out. If I don't come back in 30 seconds, leave.
Yeah.
And like, it's the long. They make you wait.
Yeah. That entire 30 seconds,
like,
which seems like 6 hours.
and yeah, you're like, and then that rock he throws comes out. You're like, oh god, thank God,
Yeah.
just made it.
Oh, fuck, thank God. When they make you count time
Oh yeah.
in movies as though it's actually happening, I guess in real time.
Yeah.
That's a better way to say it. Is, if executed properly, is just so great.
Yeah.
The tension of it, you just feel it in the top of your stomach. It's fantastic. It's fucking fantastic. And I'm glad they made this movie.
Yeah. Almost sadly, Bone Tomahawk is beautiful and super good, but it's very straightforward in a way that there's not. I mean, we rambled for quite a bit about it, but it's a really interesting. Like, it's probably the only one that we're going to talk about tonight that is a flat out, just simple hill tribe eating people. Like, we actively were like, we're not going to talk about hills have eyes, and we're not going to talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you put it like that, I guess, but there's a lot more going on.
Oh yeah.
Than just hill people eating townsfolk.
It's going to be a running theme, I think, with pretty much every movie we do discuss, though.
There's a lot more going on.
The cannibalism is just like this aspect that elevates the
It's
work.
either a metaphor for something or it elevates it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the idea that they live in such a barbaric world in Bone Tomahawk, like just the West, it somehow made worse. Like, something that they can't even fathom is a thing.
Which is just excellent. I love stuff like that. And it's a thing where if these people don't go and stop the hill tribes that are eating people, nobody will.
Yeah.
There's no higher authority that's going to come down and take care of this because of the time that it's set in. It's just them out there in these hills, and they either get offed or they come back victorious. There's no middle ground.
Yeah, it's all or nothing. This movie does something I love, like a weird little love I have. I think that's like Seven Samurai started it, but where they tell you like there are 13 of them, and then like you can count.
Right.
Like, okay, they got 2. Okay, that's good.
You start paying attention to rounds that they have.
Yeah.
And then you start wondering, okay, well, there was this one that he killed at such and such a time, and then there was this one that he killed. Okay, but was he really dead? Because there's those intense bush conflicts where Patrick Wilson's just like in the dirt, shooting from the bush.
blowing that fucking throat whistle that they have.
Oh man, the weird Oh, it's so strange.
Yeah, they have like a weird. We've discussed it outside of this. That the bone thing in their neck must be like added. Like they had to have put that.
We're
there.
not sure.
Yeah, it's really weird.
If it's aftermarket throat modification, or if they're somehow born with it. I feel it's unlikely that they're.
They gotta be. He has to cut that out of them. You think? Hey, it's got like tendons and stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, it's super strange. I mean, and it is a movie too. God knows what universe they built. Like the guy who wrote the movie.
Like what else is possible at this point?
Yeah, who knows?
So, yeah.
But I mean, they have these. Yeah, what is it? It's like a little ocarina in their throat.
Yeah, like a bone ocarina.
Yeah.
One of their like throat, like esophageal sections is just like has this vertebrae.
So when they yell,
they can like go hard.
It's like a howl.
Yeah. It's cool too, both up close and like where it's those shrieks and shit. Oh my god, eerie. It's fucking good.
Super eerie. Yeah.
And people keep hearing it. I love that they hear for a while. They're like, the coyotes are fucking close. They're like,
right.
I have no idea what it is. And then it's like Patrick Wilson sees one. One of them sees it, and then you're like, oh, it's them.
Oh no,
that's gross.
Yeah, dude. When they're dragging the victims back. This is after they're that 30 seconds that we had talked about briefly, and they're infiltrating this like ravine passage, I guess you could call it, and they all get ambushed and captured, and there's this fucking rad shot of they're all prone on the ground, tied up, and one of these hill people yelled into the hills, like into the ravine, I guess, that has their housing in it. And it's loud. It's one of their loud yells, but you hear it from up close.
Yeah,
and it is a really, really cool noise. Mm-hmm. A really chilling, cool noise that they had come up with.
They do a really good. They do a good job. Anytime like Kurt Russell or them hear it, they all fucking wince.
They have no idea what it is.
Yeah,
they've never seen it before.
Scary.
Especially in the caves. Could you imagine how it resonates?
Ooh.
And they're in these. Kurt Russell, poor guy. They poison these.
They get like two, yeah.
They try to bait them in by faking drinking from a flask, and they poison the flask so that the.
Well, it was all the opium they took from Patrick Wilson because they didn't want to pass
is that
it out.
what it was?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's because they say, well, we'll put the rest in the flask because we don't want you taking too much.
Oh yeah, it was
They don't want them spilling out of the saddle.
Oh, what do they call it?
Tincture.
Yeah, it's a tincture.
A tincture,
which is shit. It's the same stuff that the rich lady is drinking in Deadwood. You take it by the spoonful.
Yeah. It's like an opium, right?
Yeah, it's an opiate for sure. But I'm blanking on the name of what it is. They call it tincture, absolutely, but there's like a name for the actual thing. Mm-hmm. Nah, whatever. Who cares? It's liquid, and it makes you feel real nice when you're not feeling so good. They didn't give
call it medicine.
Medicine. I'm doing finger quotes to you audio.
Yeah, like they poisoned a couple, and like in retribution, they like throw it in the fire. And
Exactly right. They throw this flask into the fire and let it heat up nice and good. Cut Kurt Russell's side open, and then just shove the flask in there.
It sucks. It's so horrible.
Kurt Russell doesn't look. He's not having a good time.
Yeah, honestly it's a harrowing film.
Yeah.
Where every little move is like, it's one of those things like you sit there and you watch like those Marvel movies and like you're having a great time, but you know nothing really has weight at the end of the day.
Right.
You know, like
it took them 10 years to make a movie where anybody died.
Yeah, I had that with like Endgame, where I'm like, once the big fight was starting, I was like, well, now it's a formality.
Yeah.
But in this, it's like everything was like, is this going to kill any of them? Is this going to get you killed?
Right.
Like you're there. You're just like, fuck.
I don't know how many times I can use the word brutal.
It's brutal.
It's so brutal.
Tense.
Bleak.
And
I mean, there's what? only 3 people make it out. That's counting the hostages.
Yeah.
With it, 2 hostages die.
How good is it that you get there and one of them's just not even in the cage? They don't even talk about it.
Oh, so I guess they don't, do they?
David Arquette's long gone by then.
Yeah, good call. Good call. Because he is just gone. Nobody really cares because nobody knew him in the first place.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, definitely Bone Tomahawk's a big recommendation. Like
yeah, I recommend Bone Tomahawk. If you're into westerns, I'm a sucker for westerns. I like westerns, especially modern westerns.
Yeah.
Are mostly really good. Unless you're...
No.
I don't even want to give examples.
11.
11? Yeah.
But yeah, so that's an example of a really harsh, serious, but honest, a little bit of a fun example.
Yeah, it's still fun if you're into it.
Yeah.
You know?
I know you have one on your list that is a little bit more kooky of a pick.
You want to do the kooky one?
Yeah, I mean, this was the one that you brought up, and I was like, oh, I watched it too.
You did watch it?
If it's the one I'm thinking.
Parents?
Yes, yeah.
Parents is...
It's good. It's good for the soul.
Parents is fantastic. I had to cough up how good it was. You know? In the form of... Yeah, there's just, honestly, just black liquid now covering the couch. Because I had to cough up its brilliance. Parents is so odd. You know? Because it's slow. It's not even it's not even really about cannibalism. To be honest. It's more like...
Well, like we said, it's the cannibalism is like there, but it's what the cannibalism is actually in the plot, like what it's supposed to mean is.
Yeah, I took it as it's okay to be different, right? Because sometimes the normal
is our fucking cannibals.
Right? So it's mainly just this kid who's afraid of his father because his dad is a cannibal, and he's roped his mother into it. But the kid, I don't think, knows that this type of shit is going on.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel that way. He doesn't
understand. Yeah.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't even...
He just knows something's weird.
Comprehend, yeah. But he's a smart kid. And the thing I enjoyed the most about this movie was the dream sequences.
Oh, they get bonkers.
Yeah, were weird. And they were realistic. I like realistic dreams.
Yeah.
Like The Sopranos. The Sopranos had great dreams. The dream sequences are fantastic. And it's really that type of dream sequence that we see in this movie is where it's just random stuff. You don't really understand what's going on, but it's all just taken at face value. Because of that, you know, you have those dreams where, oh man, I'm in my house, but it's not my house.
Yeah,
and you don't even know that it's not your house until you wake up from the dream. That type of stuff, like the hand in the sink is really good, and he's in the closet and he starts getting like wrapped up in sausages. You know?
Yeah, no. Parents is so bizarre because it's a movie that relies almost 100% on just like awkward looks across tables. Like there's so much of just like him uncomfortable and his dad just seething
and just mad that you're not a cannibal too. But he doesn't know. It's so beautiful because the kid doesn't know why his dad is mad at him. Really, he just knows that his dad is mad and that he's scared of the fact that his dad is angry.
Yeah. And he doesn't know why, and it makes him feel bad.
He doesn't really know why, but he knows something is going on. He doesn't want to eat. He doesn't want to eat this stuff.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really know why. I mean, the kid is what? 12, maybe?
Yeah. He's definitely like a Goonie, essentially.
Yeah, a Goonie age. That little girl, his like little girlfriend.
Yeah.
Ah, what a shit talker that one was. What a just a hellion. You know, get a rapscallion, getting little boys in trouble, getting nice little boys in trouble. It's always like this, you know. We can't stand it.
Dilettantes.
A dilettante. That's exactly right. I guess. I'm not real clear on the definition of that word, but I'm gonna agree because I like the way it rolls off the tongue. Dilettante.
Dilettante. What happens in? Yeah,
like top to bottom?
Well, it's just like, yeah, because like it's a lot of like uncomfortableness. It's a lot of
it's just really tension.
Is. It uses cannibalism just as like the thing that like the movie almost like nods at you and is like, you know what we're talking about,
right? And
it'll just like do stuff where like it sets food in front of the kid and like you knowing what it is bothersome.
See, here's where I have a little bit of an issue. Because I knew I looked up when we decided that this episode, the royal we, when you decided
the royal you,
the royal you, what decided that this episode was going to be about cannibalism. I just looked up cool cannibal movies.
Sure.
So I went into this movie knowing it was about cannibals in some way,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
The fact that it was understated and the fact that it wasn't, right out beating you in the face, hey, here's, human parts on meat hooks and shit like that. It's a little confusing. I'm not sure if you're supposed to know it's human flesh, because all they do is do a good job of making meat look gross.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're supposed to know it's people until
I was like, they're eating people, right? Like I knew.
What else could make meat be so gross? Because it's just regular sausage and ground beef
sitting
and stuff.
out for a little while.
I just can't tell. I can't know because I knew it was about cannibals going in.
Sure. Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh my god, surprised by the cannibals. So it's just hard to tell.
Yeah. And the movie's good. I
liked it a lot.
I think I mentioned it before in another convo, but it was like, I like that the movie was almost like something I could probably show my kids when they're like 12.
Sure.
Like as an intro horror film.
Yeah.
Like if they want to see something, be like, well, I'm not going to let you watch like Texas Chainsaw right now, but like, here, watch The Parents.
Yeah. Well, it's more about atmosphere.
Yeah. That's why I want to start with
which is nice. But there's no like, obviously, but there's no gore really.
Sure.
I don't remember any gore.
I mean, it's never bad to be scared of the implication of something. Like, I feel like,
honestly, that's the thing you need to be more alert about.
Yeah. I mean, like, that ties into, like, Bone Tomahawk. Like, most of that movie is implication of, like, what could be happening until it's, like...
Not as much.
Not as much because there's a payoff, but, like, The Parents, again, is, like... I feel like that movie's always been geared towards, like, not adults, clearly. Isn't it, like, it's Tom Arnold in it as the dad?
Oh, don't talk shit about
I'm not talking shit. I'm saying, like, you don't cast him in this role in an adult serious film.
I will concede that he is very rarely a serious person in movies.
He's like a Nickelodeon villain. Only elevated to like a take him seriously status because he's eating people.
Right. He nails this role though.
Sure.
I thought he was good, and I honestly don't give Tom Arnold compliments very often.
Yeah.
And this is one I will gladly hand his way.
He gets thrown around a lot in like just garbage. Kind of like the dad from American Pie, where you're like, I know you could be fun.
Eugene Levy?
Dude, what are you doing?
What is he doing? Whatever the fuck he
American
wants.
Pie 20 is what he's doing.
Absolutely. Didn't they give him his own American Pie movie?
Well, they also revealed at some point, side tangent, that he's like the source of everything. Like, he wrote that book that they use in the first one.
Really?
Yeah, like he also bangs Stifler's mouth. Like, it's this whole...
Of course, there's some mythos.
The mythology always... it's almost a running gag that it comes back to him every single time.
Oh my god, he's just like the Illuminati of the American Pie world.
Yeah.
Who fucking gives a shit hard enough to write this?
I don't know. But The Parents is a super interesting one.
Yeah, Parents was cool. I liked it a lot. But also, it's a pretty understated one, and some stuff... I couldn't watch a whole lot of cannibal movies, because I was getting a little... I don't want to say burnt out, but you can't watch just like
It sucks.
You can't marathon cannibal movies. You're gonna fry your brain.
Oh yeah.
And if that's what you did, you need help, Matthew.
Dude, that's why I have a co-host.
Oh, okay. Well, share the load.
Share the load. So I guess another one, also very metaphor heavy, that I would recommend is Raw. This one's not so fresh. I didn't get a chance to rewatch this one.
I've never seen it.
It's super good. It's I remember correctly, it's a French film. Girl goes to college. She gets involved in a pretty intense hazing ritual that kind of culminates in them stuffing a bunch of raw meat down her throat. And
That'll happen.
It fucks her up. It just fucks her up super hard. And the whole movie is just this constant slow burn tension of like the cravings, and she wants more and more, but it's not satisfying her, and it's fucking her up because she was like so vehemently vegetarian. And you know, it's all about getting to that point where she's like, I gotta eat people.
Right.
And you know, like every other example is a huge metaphor for lots of things.
Wasn't that's the one where, and like I said, I've never seen it, but I heard about it. I know about it. But it's like that's one of the ones where cannibalism is like a metaphor for her budding sexuality.
Yeah, that's the big. I can't remember if somebody in the production said that or if it's just like
I
assumed.
do not remember.
Yeah,
where
but I heard that.
I
I heard that too, and it's one of those where you see it and you're like, yeah, I can see it. It's like super.
Sure, dude. If you're, that's the thing about cannibal movies. If you're not using it as a metaphor,
Yeah.
then you better be doing it, I guess, just gratuitous cannibalism.
Yeah, which is why we didn't talk about a lot of certain movies. That's why our so far our picks have been like
Gratuitous
wacky
cannibalism.
50s movie.
Yeah, right. Gratuitous cannibalism is a great band name.
Gratuitous cannibalism. Yeah, no, it's like that's why we're not going to talk about like a Green Inferno or a.
Well, besides the fact that I've heard they suck, I never even bothered
It's
watching
bad.
it.
It's real bad. But yeah, it's
And I'll tell you what, it better be bad, because if I miss an opportunity to watch a girl poop in the corner of a cage, feverishly expelling diarrhea in the corner of a cage in the middle of the Amazon, and something is preventing me from watching this, fucking better be a good reason. That's all I gotta say.
Better be bad.
Ugh, it better be bad. If I hear it's good from literally anybody, I'm gonna watch it immediately. But I've never heard it's good from anyone.
Yeah, but Raw's neat. Raw's a very of all the ones we're going to discuss, it's I guess got the least amount of people eating. I guess more than parents technically, but I feel like the implied eating is should still count in a way.
I mean, every single meal, Matt.
Yeah, every meal. But yeah, Raw is
people.
It's really. I mean, if you don't like watching a character stress out about just like their fucking life falling apart because they can't get over this fucking need to eat somebody, it can be rough. It's a movie that I get super into because I can just like, if I get engaged with a movie, I'm just like, dude, fucking hit me. I don't give a shit. I'll watch her do her taxes right now.
Right, sure.
I'll fucking get with it. But it's definitely worth a watch just for like the breakdown of her. And again, using cannibalism as a metaphor is just so effective because it's such a fucking intense thing to pair with anything else.
Which, I mean, when your body first starts waking up in a sexual way, it's a very intense feeling. And to equate that to something so bizarre and wrong as cannibalism, it can be, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's good because of how wrong it feels. Depending on your upbringing, it can feel very
that's
taboo.
That's like the key of it. Is
exactly.
Like, that we're making, like, she feels that like the intent of it is like they felt that bad about just wanting to fuck somebody different.
Right.
That they felt as bad.
It might as well be eating somebody.
It's fucking insane.
But it tracks.
It works too. It works real well. The movie's super solid. They really sell you on like
the idea.
She almost can't like function. She's just think
I gotta check it out.
It's super good.
I gotta check it out.
It's super, super good.
The idea is cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? They don't use cannibalism as a metaphor enough.
No.
I mean,
85% are usually just like wrong turn
Yeah,
2,
most of the
wrong
time.
turn 3.
yeah. It's a metaphor for some xenophobia. These people look weird. They might eat you.
It's a metaphor. What for, Bob? For the literal act of hillbillies eating people. That's not.
I don't think you know what metaphor means.
No.
Bob.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, it's literally just like, well, what are we doing different this time? Like, well, this time, what if they're in the Arctic? Dude, cannibals.
What if they're in the hills,
Dude.
but instead of a meat cleaver, this guy has a pike?
Dude, fucking genius.
Just cut, print,
Cut,
get it
print,
out of here.
Sell it, make a second one.
Let's do it. Yeah. Can you stretch it into a trilogy? Absolutely.
Can you make them atomic age mutants in the remake? Fuck.
Well, speaking of one that let's switch it up. Reverse the roles here. One that you didn't see but I saw
Yeah.
was a movie called Microwave Massacre.
Alright, I'm with
And it is incredible. All of you out there in internet land, you gotta go watch Microwave Massacre.
I like so far that it's Bo Tomahawk, parents, raw. It's like, alright, the real talk? Microwave Massacre.
We're about to get real here because Microwave Massacre, it might have changed my life. If I had a good beat on what my life is up until this point, I would tell you that it changed. But
Tell me Microwave Massacre was your Beatles moment?
it might be the Beatles for me. Microwave Massacre is just, I mean, I haven't stopped thinking about it since I watched it. Okay, so this guy, where to start? It's so complex, you know? This guy's wife buys a microwave, which I'm pretty sure is just a repurposed dishwasher.
All right.
As far as props go.
Sure.
Right? And
That thing, huh?
yeah,
What the fuck?
it's huge. It's so huge. It has like these giant organ dials on it too. Like you know a church organ. Everybody's grandma has an organ with those little like there's like spaceship Millennium Falcon switches on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got those for broiling and whatever the fuck. Anyway, this guy's wife is I'm on the side of the wife a lot of the time too.
Sure.
This guy's wife is trying to cook him something that's not bologna sandwiches, but she's not super great at it. Let's be honest.
Could she?
I don't know. I don't know where she gets the fucking balls to try and add some cuisine to this asshole's life.
Fucking lighten up this
'Cause-
piece of shit's life just a little bit.
Just even a tiny bit, because you want to use the word schlub any more accurately, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who fits the bill harder than motherfucker in this. I can't even remember his name. Probably Bill.
Probably Bill.
Probably, or
Bill
Ron, or
Carl.
Donald, or some horse shit. Anyway, this guy's wife is cooking him, failingly, granted, because she's trying to cook him more exotic meals, more classy meals. But this guy just wants a bologna and cheese motherfucking sandwich most of the time. There's a scene where he is opening his lunch pail and he just has an entire crab and 2 pieces of bread. And he's just, anybody want to trade me? Everybody's like, nah, man, I'm good. I mean,
What is his fucking problem?
I know, what a fucking dick. Dude, if somebody had fresh crab on a job site, he's the worst construction. And also, there's blatant nudity, like, right away in this movie, too. And it's inconsequential. It's one of those B movies.
Sure.
Everybody knows the type of shit I'm talking about. There's just nudity for literally no reason. Mm-hmm. So you can either brush past that or enjoy it for what it's worth. I don't know. Whatever your taste is. Don't care. Right? Turns out, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, guy comes home blackout drunk. Okay? Demanding a bologna and cheese sandwich for dinner. Demanding. He's really angry about it.
Flat out.
Flat out demanding. And he, in a blackout drunken stupor, beats his wife to death with pepper grinder, you know.
Classic.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're not messing around.
No.
So, wakes up the next morning. He has no idea what he's done. He's actually getting pissed off that his lunch isn't ready to go. I don't know if I really like the guy.
Well, you said you're on the wife's side.
I kind of am, but she's dead now, so now I got to pick another protagonist.
Gotta go with the winner.
Yeah, I gotta go with the winner. I always take the high horse for sure. Anyway, he's where's my lunch? Blah blah blah, doing this, doing that, and he finds his wife's body in the microwave.
Shit.
Which is a big enough microwave to contain a human body.
Convenient.
Of course. Takes his wife's body out, dismembers the body.
Of course.
Okay.
As you are.
As you do. Because what are you going to do? Get caught? Come on. What are you doing? So, he cuts up the body, right? And it gets it mixed up with leftovers.
Sure.
Accidentally takes a bite of his wife's remains. Okay? This is all within... It sounds brutal as fuck, but it's all within just the goofiest framework.
I assume it's like a 5-minute window of just like bludgeon.
It takes longer than you think.
Up. Okay.
Because there's other characters they set up on the construction site. There's just, for lack of a better term, there's bimbos just walking around. And this guy, no joke, this is like the fucking American Beauty of shitty cannibal movies. Because this guy ends up having a sexual awakening through cannibalism.
Interesting.
I'd never seen anything like it before.
Yeah, I mean, interesting with the raw and now the sexual nature.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but that's a excellent point. Because this guy just starts to, he says explicitly in the movie he hasn't had sex since like 1962. This is a movie probably in the 80s, maybe early 90s with a low budget. I'm not sure, I didn't look. So he starts to bring home sexual prospects. These women are just, I guess his confidence is raised to such a degree that they start to be able to come home with him, and he just has sex with them and then murders them. This is another good dream sequence movie too.
Sure.
They have one that really stands out that I have been laughing about since then. I mean, I watched this movie probably about 2.5 weeks ago, and I've been laughing sporadically about it since then. This one dream sequence where there's just a naked woman's body on a piece of bread and a giant butter knife spreading mayonnaise over it before another piece of bread plops down, and that's it. I mean, it's probably a good, I don't know, 12 seconds. That's a liberal estimate.
Somebody spent
money.
Somebody catered.
Oh yeah.
Big bread loaves.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what.
So, what you guys doing this sandwich bread? You like making you feeding the crew?
Just put the bread down, Miguel.
Fine, we'll let you use the big knife.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a bit. It's from the giant set.
That's from the giant set.
Yeah. Because it's all reused parts, all of it, for sure.
Yeah.
And honestly, there really is. That's the end of the plot to this movie.
It's just
fantastic.
a sequence of murders and
yeah, it's like awkward sex scenes followed by a murder, and then he's passing out the meat to his construction buddies, and he goes to see a therapist who is falling asleep, but gives him the okay because he's falling asleep.
Oh, he pulls the what?
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. Sounds fine. If you like it, then if they like it, everything's fine. No big
in moderation,
deal.
bud.
Of course.
Okay, I'll kill.
There's no plot. If you're out there looking for a B movie, this is one to add to the catalog.
Sure.
Absolutely. I thoroughly enjoyed. I was laughing very hard at Microwave Massacre. I'm not going to give it away too much.
Sure.
But I pretty much did anyway. Because there's honestly not much to it.
Well, that's all right.
But it's fantastic. I had a really good time. Had a really good time watching it, I'm not gonna lie.
Amazing time. It's the greatest time of my life.
So, well, alright.
Well, I can't sleep.
Guess what? Okay, my son was born. It's whatever. Right? Microwave Massacre. Top of the heap. King of the hill.
Carry it to my grave.
Fucking what? I don't even remember my son's name, to be honest with you. Give me a second. I'll think for a second. I'll come up with it.
I'll figure it out by the end.
But Microwave Massacre. His neighbor. I really enjoyed his neighbor. Because she's like making eyes at him the whole time. And she's just a sexual pervert. Are you allowed to call a woman a pervert?
Sure.
Okay, good.
It's
because
2019, man.
She is a pervert. She seemed like a pervert to me.
Sure.
If somebody will come up and like delivering something to her house, and she just grabs him by the crotch and pulls him in. It's like a UPS guy. Just grabs him by the crotch and yanks him into her house. She's out there. Whenever she makes eye contact with the protagonist of our story, she's just immediately drops what she's doing to make the most sexual face at him possible. There was a scene where she's planting seeds in her yard with a vibrator. She's got a vibrator turned on and just pressing it into the dirt. And putting seeds in it and covering it up. Pressing it into the dirt, putting seeds in it with a running vibrator. Super bizarre. I had a great time. It was fantastic. Such a good movie. I really was laughing very hard. People were looking at me funny. Just saying.
Watching in public?
No, I have my headphones in. Semi-public. People were around when I was watching it. I had my headphones in on my laptop, watching this movie. And people were laughing. The people were looking at me while I was laughing. And it was like, nah, it's going to take too long to explain.
It's going to take too long.
I'm just going to make a dismissive hand gesture at them. If they really want to know, they'll ask me later. But yeah, check out Microwave Massacre. If you're a B-movie fan, which I know me and Matt both are, which is part of the reason why the show is even happening, is because of this type of shit. The Microwave Massacre, man. Check it out. It is so funny. Don't be mad at me. If you watch it and you don't like it, don't be mad at me for liking it, please. Because it was made, a while ago. There's some dated humor in it, no doubt.
Oh, everything's dated.
But
poorly.
I just try not to let it ruin my enjoyment of it.
Sure.
Even though it kind of beats you over the head sometimes with it.
So before we get to the main event, I kind of prepared a couple real life instances, real life people I wanted to discuss.
Yeah, I didn't bring any real people, really.
Oh, that's fine. I got like 3 that I thought were real interesting picks.
I will talk about your 3. Definitely. Cows come home.
All right, so the first one is we kind of mentioned the bath salt zombie a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a similar vein, but not as it didn't get as popular as I thought it should, and it was fucking awesome in not real way, but like
I would say phrasing
as in like intense way, like
right.
So it's this like Canadian bus incident where I believe it was Canada, maybe Quebec, but like whatever. So yeah, they were all in Canada, and this guy like walked on and just sat down next to some dude with his headphones in, and nobody knew anything until like suddenly somebody realized this guy was trying to cut the other dude's head off. And it was like,
excuse me?
Yeah, nobody noticed anything until somebody looked over.
What do you mean nobody noticed?
Nobody noticed that the initial attack had begun until somebody looked over, and he was just like,
what the?
It was suicidal, I'm telling you.
What time was this happening?
It was late at night, I guess, I think. Oh, no, maybe not even, because like a couple hours go by in this fucking store.
I've been on a bunch of buses where nobody's really paying attention to fucking anything. I guess it's not super surprising.
Like a Greyhound, like kind of like a big...
cross-country motherfucker.
I think so. There was a lot of people.
Jesus.
It's fucking bonkers.
It seems so unreal that nobody knows that this is going on. It's like crazy.
By the time somebody realized it was happening, there was nothing to be done.
How far along was he?
He was working up through collarbone. Like, it was bad.
Did he get the head off?
Eventually. Well, yeah, so everybody starts panicking. The bus stops. People start fucking jumping off, getting out the emergency exits.
Getting away from the guy who's cut off a dude's head.
Getting away from that. The
Seems
bus
illogical.
People like bow up to him, but like nobody does anything. Like it's like, okay, you got knives and shit. So they all.
This is in Quebec and nobody's got a gun?
It's. I want to say it was Canada. It was up there somewhere. Pretty sure. If not,
somebody's out there be hunting moose or something.
You'd think. No, they're all too polite, man.
What do I know?
So yeah, everybody scatters off, and they just like they call the police, and then proceed to watch as this guy paces around for hours
On the bus?
cutting this dude up, pulling stuff off of him, putting shit, like, just fucking pulling shit off this dude.
They just let him do it?
Nobody was fucking gonna run there. Nobody did. And they were waiting for a response from police.
What do you mean nobody was gonna go?
Nobody.
Oh, the cops weren't there, you said?
They were waiting for the cops. And by the time they got there, like, 2 hours had passed. And this
That's plenty of time to butcher a dude, you would think.
This guy was butchered, just hacked up. And, like, they finally got in there to get him. And he started showing the head like fuck,
right, because he's fucking insane.
Crazy. He was doing the standard like fucking I'm the devil, shit like that.
Oh
it was
Lord,
nonsense shit. But
everybody's the devil. I'm not even impressed anymore.
Yeah, at this point it's like you get that card when you first sign up.
Like, oh, you're the devil. Oh, here's the devil.
Here's the devil card. But yeah,
everybody's the devil.
So by the time they get in there to stop this
couldn't
guy,
you be Pazuzu? Everybody's the devil.
Yeah, by the time they get in there to stop this guy, he's cuts. He's done
off of him.
He's done. And like they find like
was he eating the guy?
He was eating bits.
Okay.
He had eaten a little bit. And they chalked it up to a psychotic break, obviously.
Well, I got a couple questions. Okay. For one, did this motherfucker get on the bus to just cut anybody's head off, or did he? That's the guy whose head I'm going to cut off, or it's just whoever he sat next to.
I don't know. He did not know this guy.
He didn't know the guy.
He did not know this guy.
So it had to be random. How horrifying is that?
That it was just
random.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But on a Greyhound bus though, God fucking knows. Who's getting on that thing?
Oh man! And by the time they got him down and like started digging through his pockets to get any more weapons,
Jesus.
he had stuff like teeth and eyes and like an ear down. He had bits of this dude just stuffed in pockets.
The way this went down, there's no way he thought he was getting out.
I don't know. If I remember correctly, he even tried to start the bus a little bit and try and get the fuck out of there.
No way.
He tried to do it, but I think they had keys. Like they were smart enough, but
what a sequel to Speed that would have been.
Nobody's chasing that bus.
Nobody's chasing that bus. Sandra Bullock is just.
They stop it immediately because it's like, well, there's no bombs.
There's no bomb. It's just this guy's being super weird.
Nobody wants to get on it.
Understatement of the century. This guy's being super weird. He's got a severed head he's walking around the bus aisles with.
Walking around with pockets full of teeth and eyes.
You know, there's certain cities would just be like, it's just eye rolls.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, all right, is this going to interfere with my stop? I'm fucking late for work. Why you cut this guy's head off for? Ugh.
Oh, yeah. No, that was like a really, nothing too crazy except for the sudden...
Nothing. Don't even say those words to me, Matt.
Except for the sudden...
Except for the...
gratuitousness of it.
Oops, this guy's head is in my hands. What was I gonna do?
Oops,
not catch it?
Oops, all organs.
Oops, all organs. Jesus Christ.
No, it's...
Nothing too extreme except for this guy got disemboweled on a bus.
I have different... I consider different things extreme.
Well, I mean, everybody's got different thresholds.
Sure. I think the random... Like, the violence of it is, like, okay. Like, I've read a lot about, like, really violent murders.
Sure.
So,
it's the randomness of it that gets me about cases like that shit.
And just how quick it just like escalated, because he probably did just start stabbing.
Absolutely, and as soon as everybody got off the bus, he's like, "Oh well, this is just my bus now. I can do whatever the fuck I want." He's already insane.
I'm the devil. It's my bus.
I'm the devil.
This is the devil bus.
This is the devil bus. Everybody, all aboard if you're coming. If not, you're trying to start it. Didn't work.
You don't care much for.
Yeah. You better bring some body parts. I mean, you're not gonna get on empty-handed.
Just a few.
He's gonna throw you off like Indiana Jones. Be like, no body parts. That's a no-ticket joke. All you guys out there.
I don't think anybody's gonna go to ticket.
Yeah, probably not. No ticket. It's an Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
joke.
yeah.
You threw him out of the blimp.
I don't know. People don't watch old movies anymore.
It's not that old.
It's like 30 years old.
Shit.
Right?
Kalima. Is that cannibalism?
Do they eat it? I don't think they eat it.
Nah, they should have took a bite.
They eat monkey brains in that movie, though.
They do.
Which is
Kind of cannibalism.
kind of
We'll cover monkey brains.
fucked up is what it is.
We'll cover monkey brains.
So, yeah, so the Quebec, I remember it was jokingly, if I'm remembering correctly, it was jokingly referred to as the Highlander killing because of the beheading.
No way.
It was either this
Don't
one, and I'm like 85% sure it was this one, but if not, there is still a bus beheading referred to as the Highlander killing, which is awesome.
For one,
That's why they couldn't stop him.
I got two things to say. Okay. For one, what if it's real?
Right?
Did they notice any lightning strikes?
What if this was the first time? Like the first time we've seen it?
Exactly, the first publicly available Highlander killing.
Dude.
Okay. For one, did anybody notice any unusual electrical activity in the vicinity? That's what I would like to follow up. For two,
Would they even let us know that information?
shit. Maybe they wouldn't. The Watchers. That's a Highlander TV show joke.
That's a deeper
That's
pull than no
a way deeper pull. Also, if there wasn't that, don't besmirch the good name of Highlander
Right.
with this psychopath beheading motherfuckers on a bus.
Definitely. Oh, no.
It's so weird how, like, you got a bus full of people. You could just rush him, but nobody will.
The rush mentality, yeah. It's one of those things where you, like, think it.
Well, nobody wants to get
No one
hurt.
wants to.
I'm not. Let me clarify.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I am not talking shit at all. I do not want to be one of those fucking guys
Why
you
didn't you
always
do
hear about.
something? Yeah.
Well, I mean, what? He only had a knife. There's only one guy. Dude, he's got a knife. He's cutting somebody's head off. Get the fuck out of there right away.
Yeah.
You know? It's just always so strange how nobody gives a fuck about. Nobody thinks about that in the moment.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting.
Even
thing,
if
I
you
guess.
do, it's like the doubts there of like, if
What are
I
you gonna
rush,
do?
is anyone else gonna
You're
go?
trusting all these randos to back you up.
And it's a bus. Like, you really can only come at them one at a time.
That's a solid
Do
point
you
too.
want to be the first dude to run down the aisle?
I mean, absolutely not. That's probably why nothing happens because nobody wants to
We're all
be the
just
first
like,
guy.
"Ooh, the
You have
door's
to be the
right
first
here.
guy.
I mean, like,
Yeah, what's better?
he's dead.
He's definitely
Let's get out of
dead.
Oh, man.
Could you imagine, like, say you just got your headphones in, listening to
Some guy sits down.
this very podcast?
Oh, shit.
No, that would be.
Get them before they get
I mean, it would be metaphysically impossible, really, because there would have to be some time travel involved. But
I mean, in the future.
yeah, let's not get into the weeds here. You know, if you were just listening to your favorite album, a Dio album, Holy Diver, see your stripes, but you know he's clean. And like look over,
Mid-clean.
you just yeah,
You're
and
like,
some guy sawing a dude's head off. Whoa! Oh god!
Fuck it.
Whoa!
Yeah, no, it's not. It's nuts.
I can't even. There's not much to say.
Yeah,
I feel like I have a lot to say, but I can't articulate it.
Yeah, it's the simplest one of my examples for sure.
Oh,
But it's gratuitous. Which I thought I wanted to leave with something a little gratuitous
it's
because
so insane,
it's
man.
super nuts.
It's so insane.
I guess it's relative because the next one
The next,
I looked into.
What else are you gonna say? There's not really a segue.
the next one I have is the Russian, 85% certain of that, Russian cannibal Armin Muse, I think is his name, Armin Muse. He is weird because he was very big into like, he in interviews was like, I fantasized about this a lot, I thought about it a lot, and then he never did it until he found some guy on some like sketchy web like cannibal forum who wanted to willingly be eaten.
I know this case.
Yeah. So it's super bizarre just from the whole circumstance of like that he kept it under wraps until somebody gave him the go-ahead, which is super interesting.
I don't think that's as uncommon as some people would have you believe. Just keeping some extreme, I guess, a fetish?
Yeah, extreme behavior that you just want to do.
I hesitate to call it a fetish.
Yeah, it's like a compulsion. It's something.
A compulsion would be better, I guess. But that's the guy who, he found somebody on, Cannibal Craigslist? And that's the guy who put him in a bathtub and cut his dick off?
Yeah,
they tried to eat his dick?
They castrated him and then attempted to, cut his dick.
They both ate his dick.
They cooked his dick, they fucked it up, they burned the shit out of it.
Wow.
Complained that it was too chewy. He describes that he burst one of the guy's nuts in his mouth. Like,
no way.
Yeah. I was freshening up for it, and like he was like talking about the stuff they tried, and it's like, ugh. Not good. And I love that it's like a dark comedy almost to me that they fucking burned it.
Yeah.
Like it's like a Monty Python sketch, except this guy's bleeding out a tub, and it's not funny.
It's definitely not funny.
Yeah.
But
it's
what a terrible thing to say. You know what I mean? To say
I burned it.
When you're like, no. Just be like, well, it's definitely not funny that he cut his dick off and tried to eat it. But
it's kind of funny.
I mean, I'm laughing about it.
It's one of those like defense mechanisms where like my brain.
That's absolutely a defense mechanism.
A default thought of the awkward moment where he rounded the corner to his friend bleeding out in the tub and was like, I burned it.
Oh no!
He's like, dude, I only have one. Dude, it's the only one.
It's the only one.
And then to have them complain that it was quote too chewy. Couldn't eat it.
Why start with the genitals, though? There's so many other good bits.
They met for sex too before. Like they copulated and then did it.
There's always sex involved. It's cannibalism.
Really weird.
Always. Mm-hmm. There's so many more.
At least what we should call like middle class cannibalism, like white collar cannibalism or blue collar cannibalism.
Okay.
Because like it's
another good band name.
Blue collar cannibalism. You almost never get it when it's like tribal cannibalism. I mean, like some of them go into that rape territory, but it's never like connected the way it is when it's like white people doing it.
Right.
Which is maybe says more about us than it does anything else.
For sure. It's institutionalized. That's like some Soil and Green shit. Institutionalized cannibalism. It's like a chimp thing, because when chimps will cannibalize too, but they do it out of dominance. They don't do it for like need to eat. They don't do it because they like to eat other chimps. They do it because they've conquered a foe. Mm-hmm. And they start with genitals all the time, with anything, whether they're just fucking it up or they're trying to eat it or whatever.
Yeah, it's strange that we have like a lot. It's very intertwined a lot of the time.
Yeah. Like you there's a bunch of just regular murders, and not near as many of them have sexual behavior involved as cannibalism. It's almost, it's got to be at least 80 to 90%.
Yeah, I feel like the margin is super wide. Like with murder, there's so many other factors that can tie into murder.
Yeah.
And like, sex doesn't really come into it, but yeah, cannibalism seems to be, it's real tight with it. There's a lot of people.
It's a tiny pocket of murder already, cannibalism.
And just
so the fact that sexual shit is involved with so many cannibalism cases, that there's just some, what kind of wires got to be crossed to where you connect that type of thing? And especially I almost feel bad for this guy.
Right?
That's because he's chasing a fantasy. He found somebody who was down.
Yeah.
So what the fuck else is he supposed to do?
Right? No, yeah, it's a real fascinating case too, because the jury tried. They argued real hard to get him no jail time. Like he almost got out of it. But no,
what would you do on a jury? I don't know if I could give him prison time.
I wouldn't. I couldn't.
The guy wanted to.
I couldn't.
The guy wanted to get eaten. He wanted to eat.
It's one of those like the situations where it'd be like no jail time, but like get this guy help. Like let's talk to somebody.
Oh, 1,000% get him help.
And
he wants to eat people.
It's super bummer because the guy's fucking super regretful about it. Like he's like, I don't feel good
That's
about
why
this.
he had to kill the guy.
Yeah, he's like, yeah,
he slit his throat, did he not?
Yeah, he put him out of his misery the next morning.
It was a piece of mercy. It felt like it's been a long time since I heard about this kid. I think I heard about it on a true crime podcast. I don't even remember
he
which
just,
one.
Like, given a bunch of sleeping pills and was just like, all right, good night, man. And he passed out next to the tub when he woke up. The guy was still breathing, so he killed him.
Jesus.
Honestly, that is the thing. He did kill him, but like,
it's a piece of mercy.
that's where the gray area gets. Because as far as like the wanted cannibalism, I'm like, well, that's not gray. That's two people,
obviously.
But like, it's such a weird.
But that's what a gray area.
And he said he's like, I'll never do it again. It was not what I thought it would be. He was like, it really wasn't good. He's like, I recommend anybody who is feeling this way, go get help. Like, talk to somebody before you kill somebody.
Which I support.
Yeah, definitely. It's a weird one for sure. Just how regretful he is.
Which, I mean, doesn't seem like it happens too much.
No.
People who regret.
He's the only one I have found.
Man, it's just mega strange.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only strange because, well, it's strange because there's cannibalism involved. But between two consenting adults, who can say what you can and can't do? The guy went through for lack of a better term, he went through the proper channels.
Sure, he found somebody that shared interest.
He wanted to eat somebody. He found somebody who wanted to get eaten.
Mm-hmm.
That's just commerce. Shit.
Yeah, it's one of those weird taboos where we're not allowed to help people kill themselves.
Right.
As well, I think
you're not supposed
what
to.
Presets people's notions because like you're not like that guy. I mean, you want to get eaten. Do you think you're gonna make it?
No way.
Yeah,
he had to know he was gonna die.
Yeah. So like at that point, you're kind of assisting a suicide, which I would not want to be the defense attorney trying to fucking find the loophole to get him out.
That's a fact.
It'd be not fun.
Because it's the same thing with like the whole Kevorkian thing.
Sure.
Where what's the wrong if they want to die? I have a way to peacefully remove them from the earth.
Mm-hmm. What's the problem?
It's a situation by situation thing because some people are going to be totally in the right mind and want to die because they're sick and don't want to go through the pain of dying that they definitely will experience. But there's also going to be the extremely mentally ill who think they want to die but don't really know what that entails.
Yeah.
Which I gotta feel like this guy felt that way.
Yeah.
Or this guy had that going on in his mind. He wanted to get eaten, but he didn't fully understand for whatever reason.
Oh yeah.
What that means to be eaten. You will die because you can't be eaten and live.
I feel like those are two sides like to that. Like there's no way you can like really mentally prepare for eating or being eaten. It's such a fucking different sensation.
Yeah, both of them ought to be surprised.
Sure,
by this. If I eat a person, I better be surprised by it. Mm. Whether it's like a live situation where you better eat a dude or you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Or I'm dying. You might as well eat me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No.
What a strange situation. It just goes to show that the world is just the universe we exist in. It's just gray area.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's just sometimes there's no rules for things people feel.
Sure. Oh yeah, and No, the Armin one's super bizarre, mostly just because it's so...
Especially because he feels bad about it.
He feels really
Could
bad.
you imagine what he's going through?
Oh, yeah. He when the interview I was listening to, he's like, it's awful. He's like, I live with it every day that I did that. And it's like, fuck, dude. I mean, it's more I can say, honestly, for the next example of...
I cannot use the word brutal enough.
Dude, it's...
in this particular podcast.
Yeah. The next one is not so brutal, I would say, in a way. It's more like the aftermath that is fucking bonkers. So it's this. It starts with this exchange student from Japan named Sagawa.
You brought this guy up to me,
Yeah. He's great.
Lay it out for our devoted listeners.
So he attended a foreign school, I believe also in France. And he was there doing his thing. I can't remember what he was majoring in, but he got real hung up on this Dutch student.
Okay.
Super hung up. She was super tall, super different. He had that thing that all of us do where we're just like super into the thing that isn't us.
Right.
He had that bit of that going native
He
fever.
needs that taste of the exotic.
Yeah, that thing that's different, tall, strong, Western woman type thing that he was super into. And Sagawa also, just like Armin, he expressed that even as a kid he would fantasize about eating people. Sagawa believed he was like an alien left there in place of a real baby.
Yikes.
To eat his classmates.
Wait, for the express purpose?
He thought that's what he was there for. Like, he's raised 8 people. Like, he had these weird fantasies about this, which is just wonderful. But so Sagawa's nuts, but he doesn't do much. He just stalks and gets super obsessed, and then one day ends up doing like a study group with her. And when his advances are kind of rebuffed, he shoots her from behind, kills her immediately.
Damn.
And unlike Armin or the other guy, I mean, honestly, unlike Armin, who tried to prepare it, or other examples you can find, like Dahmer, who would cook, he just went to cutting pieces off and trying to eat her, bites.
Raw?
He was real clumsy about it, real fucking sloppy, I guess, almost. But it's almost like he didn't have the heart, because again, bus example, that guy was just fucking ripping pieces of this dude off.
Right.
Or the bath salts guy, he barehanded was just pulling pieces, dude.
Yeah. Taking bites and come what may.
So Sagawa really wasn't doing very good. He was cutting pieces off. He was keeping some of it. He started putting it away and stuff. And of course,
Putting it away like
fridge wise, yeah.
Okay.
So again, it was very
Microwave Massacre.
just like the cinematic masterpiece, Criterion Collection,
Of course.
Massacre. Interestingly enough, again, it was very looped in with sexual desire. Like, he wanted this person sexually, but settled for eating her.
I mean, maybe there's a thing to making your victim part of you.
Maybe. It's certainly
it's like
weird.
a blending.
You think it's just that dominance thing, but taken to a real weird level?
There's an intimacy to it.
To eating somebody?
That I think is...
Bro, you want to eat me, bro?
Yeah, are you trying to get eaten?
You want to nibble on my feet a little bit?
I mean, look,
dude,
I don't want to say I got recipes, but I'll figure something out.
I don't want to say I gotta fucking carry salt on me all the time.
But I got a little baggie of salt and pepper, a little bit of paprika, getting down. We'll bread you up, fry it.
Ugh. Breaded people.
You don't want to be breaded?
I don't know, maybe. Might be good.
I mean, I'll respect your wishes. I'm not
shake 'em
savage.
Put little pieces of meat in bags and shake them up.
Yeah, like shake and bake.
Yeah, shake and bake them.
Perfect.
Be great. But so Sagawa didn't do very well with the cannibalizing.
I have an issue with if he's been saying he's been thinking about it since he was a little kid.
Sure.
And you got no follow through plan except for taking bites off a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, he in follow-up interviews.
Horrible.
Yeah, I mean, in follow-up interviews after his arrest, kind of like how Armin said the similar things, where he was like, it wasn't really what I expected. Like, it went a different way, and it makes me wonder if it's one of those things that's just super easy to imagine, just biting somebody, but when you get down to it, it's like you can't fucking prepare for it. What are you practicing on?
That's a straight psychosis.
Yeah.
Just eating somebody like the fucking cheese stick.
I mean,
taking bites and
I feel like you could think of like mundane examples of just like shit you think is gonna be so solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird.
It's like a thing we had talked about previously a little bit, in that like your first sexual experience.
Oh yeah.
To link it again, you know.
It's nothing like
sex and cannibalism. It's not.
It feels different than
your
you expect.
first anything. If you have no idea what to expect, then you don't know how it's going to turn out, and then you have to just, for lack of a better term, you got to pull the trigger and
kill this Dutch girl
and just see how it shakes out. I guess. This is the guy though he's like around though.
Yeah, Sagawa was arrested, but his family was kind of wealthy in Japan, and they pulled some strings to get him sent back to his home to be tried there. And what they found was, I don't know how it got around this, but they were like, yeah, you can just go home, but go see therapy. Except in Japan, they didn't have a law that required you to hold up to medical appointments, even if they were appointed by the state. There was a strange thing, and he just didn't go. And Sagawa walks free to this day.
Wow.
He's never done it again. He has talked in interviews.
That we know about, I guess.
Yeah, well, this is where it gets fucking real bonkers. He's made like a mini industry out of it. Like, he's starred in comic books written by people about him. He's sold his likeness to these comics, to novels about him. He's done interviews for counterculture magazines. He's starred...
You were talking about counterculture.
He's cameoed in adult films. So, creepily starring Western actresses, which just plays right into fucking what he likes.
What do you think that was like behind the scenes?
I would be, if I was there, I'd be like, I don't know, a little Catwoman touching me.
Please, probably not.
Yeah, so, and he's never really expressed remorse, more just disappointment in it.
Disappointment, like it didn't.
It wasn't as good
play
as
out the way
it would. Yeah,
right.
But he's making like royalties and he's cutting a check for what is essentially eating a person.
There's gotta be a law against that. That's insane.
I don't know.
It's like that same thing where like murderers can't profit off of their case.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the.
That's us. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, right.
If they can give a murderer the sentence of go to therapy, but like only if you want to.
That's so absolutely
right.
Nuts. I mean,
it's a problem.
Yeah, I can't even really say I'm surprised. You know? The insanity of the planet. Of course, this guy just tried his best to eat a lady. Didn't go through the way he wanted to. And it's just like, yeah, well.
No, what's it?
Better luck next time?
I guess. And he never did it again, as far as we know.
As far as we know. You can't just...
I almost believe him. I feel like he just kept his head down.
Nice.
It's quiet to make money.
Yeah, he sounds trustworthy. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. So that's Sagawa, who is...
I can't believe
his
that
actual cannibalism is
he's famous.
Simpler, but
he's famous off of
murder.
Not even that. Well, I mean, yeah, that. But he's famous off of fucking up.
Yeah.
I mean, and not too famous because I didn't know about him until you brought him to my attention.
No, he's interesting. There's a couple good documentaries about him where you would get interviews with him, and it's like, dude, what the fuck is this planet? This is the thing that we're just
He's just not giving a shit, or
he's so casual about it.
Oh my
it's
God.
so baffling, and it's so weird to like. Those are the shades I wanted to present: psychotic, remorseful, making money off of it.
Ugh.
Might as well elect him president.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Give him a paycheck for not eating a lady properly. What a sunset.
What a sunset. What a sunset.
Jesus, this poor lady. What is it? What? The girl's family. The lady's family.
Nothing they can do. They've never used her likeness, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's the way around it.
That's that little loophole.
You just describe her the same, but it's not her, so it's like whatever.
I mean, anybody can be tall and blonde. And
yeah, it's
desirable.
It's a fucking doozy.
Yikes! I don't even know. I'm not even sure I can process it. Really, it's so strange that somebody can pull something like that off.
That it's possible that like Japan could just be like, we'll give him back, and then France is like, sure, and then
Whatever.
All right, go home.
I don't want to deal with it. Everybody says I don't want to deal with it.
Basically, I cannot imagine how that went down. Just like, all right, call down, comes down. All right, let him go.
It operates like we were talking about with that other guy, the Armin guy. It's just the little loopholes.
Yeah.
Nobody really know how to handle it.
It's nuts because it's like Armin's in jail regretting his life, and this guy's just like, whatever.
This guy just like get cool with it.
Yeah, peace.
Like, man, it sucks I didn't do it right.
Yeah, if only it was better, but well,
Whatever.
everyone thinks I'm kind of like a weird anti-hero.
Well, see, the difference is Armin tried to cook,
Yeah.
and this guy just was taking bites.
You know what's fucked up really weird about it? He's been kind of co-opted by like anti-Western imperialistic shit as like the symbol of like, look, Japan fucking getting back at the West, and it's like, can you not?
Yeah, that's a tough nut to crack right there.
It's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for anti-imperialism and also, anti-Western society sometimes for certain aspects of it.
Sure.
But I'm not sure I can condone eating
People.
of another human
Yeah.
in any facet, really.
Any instance where you just fuck up somebody else's life.
Yeah, there's other ways to fight that battle, I think.
Like pamphlets.
Yeah, start with pamphlets. How about don't fucking cut the deck with cannibalism? Yeah. That shouldn't be your icebreaker.
That's your first move.
That's your number one?
Like you're like, how about trade tariffs? And you're like, kill and eat one of yours. What?
I mean, yeah, I could move my pawn 2 spaces up, or I could fucking eat a lady.
Eat a lady. What's your retort?
Yeah, what do you got for that?
Why don't you wait till society has crumbled?
Oh, Jesus, yeah. That's a thing maybe we should touch on, too, is every apocalypse scenario is so confident that cannibalism will be happening.
Oh, yeah. It's almost a throwaway at this point.
Yeah, it's like, well, duh. Obviously, people will be eating people.
To the point that, like I was saying, kind of mentioned earlier, where it's almost like a cliche that just doesn't faze me when it comes up.
Yeah,
usually.
for sure. If you think about it, though, in a post-apocalypse world,
Sure.
if we're going to delve into, like, Mad Max for a second, cannibalism makes a decent amount of sense.
Yeah.
It's meat.
Yeah,
you need meat. Well, you don't need meat, but people sure like meat.
Yeah.
And what meat is plentiful. That's going to lessen the shit that you got to worry about.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, it's a good assumption. Like Mad Max, or like The Road, where you're like, yeah, people will probably eat people. They get hungry enough.
I mean, people don't give a fuck about anything anymore.
Yeah.
Why would they give a shit where their meat came from?
Yeah. People are
Yeah, bah. That's right. Dismiss. Casual dismissal.
Casual dismissal.
Casual cannibalism.
Casual cannibalism.
God, we're just band naming like a son of a bitch.
Oh, fuck. So,
Any other real ones?
no, those are my big ones.
There was one that I heard about way back when.
Sure.
Was a lady in Australia who ran a butcher shop. She at least worked in one. I'm not sure if she ran it, but she worked in a butcher shop, and she was, I mean, obviously crazy of some kind, and she killed the boyfriend. Maybe it was her husband. I'm pretty sure it was just like a boyfriend. Maybe they were engaged or something, but I'm pretty sure they weren't married. Mm-hmm. But I could easily be wrong about that. And she parted him out, skinned him, I'm fairly certain, had meat hooks hanging in his house, and started parting him out and cooking bits of him, had plates set out for his kids with what I think was a rump roast, which is, oh man, I feel like I'm saying brutal too much. But what other word, or how many synonyms of brutal are there? Rough is...
It was a problem.
Feels like an understatement. Rough is like an understatement, but brutal just hits the pocket. Brutal.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They found her. She had his head boiling in a pot.
Sure.
And had fixed a spread. Had potatoes, carrots, vegetables, the whole deal. And places set up for his kids. His kids were grown at the time, though, in their 20s at least, but had names on them and everything. I can't even remember where I heard about the story, but it was several years ago. I don't have as many details. I didn't come as prepared. I said that earlier. I don't feel bad. I said that earlier. I'm not as prepared. But it was another thing where she was having sex with this guy habitually in a relationship fashion. Sex and cannibalism.
It's a thing.
It's, I guess,
really weirdly a thing.
I'd be interested to see if anybody has, I don't know, access to some kind of study, some stats.
Like a baseball
maybe
card?
Explain some of this. Why sex and cannibalism are so closely linked?
I don't know.
Strange.
It's consistent as hell, too.
Yeah, man, it really is. A good 80-90% of cannibalism cases have sexuality involved. What wires have to be crossed to equate those two? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, I guess they'll take us to the main event.
Main event? Oh, damn. Headliner.
So, of the people in the room, it was you, Priscilla, and my brother Alex.
Yes.
Who were all watching it.
I was the only non-familial member.
I was the only familiar. Oh, non-familial.
Not familial.
Yeah.
Right.
I was the only familiar one with the movie.
Oh, is that right?
And nobody else had seen it when we watched it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I was the only one who really knew what we were getting into.
Yeah. You, me, your brother, and your wife got down on Cannibal Holocaust.
Yes.
Which, like I said, I had never seen before. And I was surprised when I didn't think I was going to be. Like, I thought it was going to be... The reputation of Cannibal Holocaust is... I mean, it's like the cannibal movie.
It's the cannibal movie. It's the banned in 13 countries because it's so fucked up movie.
And it is pretty fucked up. But that's not the portion I was surprised by. I went in thinking I was just going to see, just top to tail, some extreme violence.
Yeah, you're going to get through like a meat slog, essentially.
Right. Which I was prepared for. But it ended up being this, like... this reflection on...
the entire, like... cannibal film industry that was going at the time, essentially.
Yeah,
primary factor.
There's that a lot, but it's this reflection on too, and like
consumer media.
Colonialism and consumerism, and
like what we'll watch for entertainment,
and what we'll do to get the entertainment that people will watch.
Yeah,
And if you've never seen Cannibal Holocaust, look, before we get too deep into this, turn this motherfucker off and go watch Cannibal Holocaust. It's fucking...
It's rough.
It's brutal.
But, I don't know, maybe for the wrong reasons.
It's brutal for different reasons than you think, yeah.
Which
It's
we'll
mainly
get into.
animal murder.
Yeah.
There's a lot of animal killing in it. Like, legit on camera, these animals are dying.
Yeah. Which is the rough part.
It's the hardest parts. Those are the hardest parts for sure.
The only reason I don't recommend it, like, freely.
For sure. I could see that, absolutely.
Like, I gotta gauge people. Like, I'll be like, oh, Zach will get it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, I don't like it.
It's definitely it's a problem. It's a bad fucking part of that film, in a way.
And I don't... I'm thinking of a good way to say this. I don't particularly mind the killing of animals, but if it's for something like that, it's just pointless and it's unnecessary, and they're... Let's say they were making this movie and they killed these animals quickly and cleanly and used the parts from the animal. That's a whole nother story. But they did not do that in this movie.
Like, that muskrat dies.
That muskrat was the hardest one. The muskrat was the hardest one for me.
Yeah.
Because it took a minute. It took a while. The turtle... There was what? The muskrat, the turtle, and...
The monkey and the pig.
There's a monkey, there's a pig. Did they kill a snake, or am I thinking of a different
They
movie?
do kill a snake. They do kill a snake. But the snake is kind of like a quick chop. And they kill a spider. But
Yeah, the...
vermin animals are kind of hard.
It's a tarantula.
Yeah. You forget those pretty quick, though, because they're not, like...
Yeah, they don't have faces.
They're super quick, yeah, then they're not really the same. Yeah, the turtle sucks.
The turtle is... They kind of, like, stretch this turtle over a log and behead it, which doesn't... Beheading a thing doesn't kill something as quick as you think it does.
Yeah.
When you're actually doing it. In a movie, you can chop the head off an orc and the orc is dead right away. But when you... Yeah, it's just... The lights out. But when you actually chop the head off of something, you're suffocating. Yeah. It's just because the brain isn't connected to the lungs anymore, it suffocates because it can't get air. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's redundant as fuck, I realize, as it comes out of my mouth. But the fact is, like, you know, the bodies are still kicking. That muskrat is brutal.
Yeah.
Because they, like, stab it in the face.
Yeah, they get it, like, right there in, like, the throat.
Like underneath the jaw. Like in the side of its face. Mm-hmm. And it is horrified. It's screaming.
It's not happy. But personally, I still think the monkey hurts me the worst. But it's for like weird, surrealist fucking... Like, you don't really see that kind of kill where it's like... Because they chop the monkey's face off. Like, at the quarter mark of its head.
They chop its head in
a fourth. Like, they chop just the face front part off.
It is bizarre.
It's fucking weird.
The face it makes after
and it's like, I don't like it, and it looks too much like me.
Yeah.
And it's such a different way to kill something, like, that you don't see.
It's very strange.
It's super strange, and just the way, like, they hit it, and then they, like, peel the cleaver away. And
yeah, they've done it before.
It's fucking hurts inside. It's something about it that, like, sickens me a little bit, whereas I'm upset by the muskrat.
Right.
I'm, like, disturbed by the monkey kill.
Which I think we were, after watching it, we were talking about it for a while, in that I think because it's super famous as being just the most insanely violent movie, one of the most insanely violent movies to ever exist.
Sure.
To ever be put to film. And the violence against people is all fake, but not everybody knew that at the time.
Yeah.
So this guy did some jail time, you said, right?
Yes. Yeah, he was arrested on charges starting with the animal violence, but due to, like, this weird contract thing with the actors that were portrayed as killed in the movie, they had to hang tight in hotels for like 6 months. So they were trying to put him away for murder for that until, like, confusion got cleared up.
You're right.
But they still nailed him to the wall for the animals, which rightfully so. It's fucking not worth it.
It really is not, man. It really is not. However, there were some bits of this movie I thoroughly enjoyed.
No,
I mean, most of it I
think the
liked.
movie is actually really good.
It sucks that it's marred by something so unnecessary as these animals getting killed for nothing.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder too how many they killed.
Yeah, like
You think it's first take every time?
takes.
What are the odds?
I don't know.
I don't either.
It's
But
from the animal, honestly.
yeah, probably they had plenty of muskrats around,
They had a bunch of those spiders.
and they probably just fucking killed a bunch of them and took the most brutal one and put it in the edit, the final edit.
Definitely.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't do any research.
And it's all in the effort of like what the theme of the film really is, because like when it starts, they never portray, because for the most part the animal killings are all, except for the monkey, are all done by the camera crew that is killed, and they are like trying to figure out what happened to them through the course of the film.
Well,
I think it's pure. Well, no,
the muskrat is done.
Is Miguel.
Is
Our boy
Miguel,
Miguel.
who is, I hate to disparage him because what a champion Miguel is. Chaco and Miguel.
Yeah.
What a fucking pair, these guys. I would watch them do any number of adventures.
They're surprisingly, like, there's a surprising levity to Chaco and Miguel.
Yeah.
That maybe we brought, but
Yeah, we
they're
definitely.
fascinating, is what they are.
Yeah, we definitely were captivated by Chaco and Miguel to the point where we were coming up with other movies they should be in.
Like
Chaco and Miguel, Fighting Atlantis, in any number of like Clive Cussler style adventure.
Well, I don't know what it was too, but like they're not particularly funny at all. It was just like it was the absurdness of like us reacting to the shit that was happening.
They were funny,
Yeah,
but
I think Chaco was funny. Chaco was the one telling jokes.
yeah, Chaco was the head honcho, and Miguel is like his gopher.
He's like his Kato, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He's this like hyper competent
who just strips
buddy.
naked and does whatever needs done.
literally at one point to show dominance.
Yeah, that scene where he doesn't.
Well,
I wouldn't say it's a show dominance.
He's coming at him as equals, they say.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
which is
it. There's a
awesome.
lot of stripping naked in this movie.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of nudity, a bunch of violence.
But
Like the
yeah.
that scene where Miguel strips down to his bare nothings and has a little tribal boy on a leash, a rope leash, and is just in fucking knee deep in mud, screaming naked with a machete in his hand, as tribal dudes pop up out of the brush, seemingly out of nowhere, to volley poison darts at his feet.
Yeah, it's super nuts.
With Chaco going like, Chaco's like, oh, if he gets out of this one,
It's like he's
I'll buy him a bottle of whiskey.
It's like, yeah, he's done shit like this constantly in
Yeah.
other instances.
So it makes me want to see more of their escapades.
Like, what else has Miguel pulled to get them out of a
Oh,
situation?
it
and was
couldn't
he
even be
clothed?
told properly. He's probably never clothed, unless he really has to be. They're walking through the
Social
jungle.
situations.
Yeah, obviously, you know. He's going to a fine dinner party. You can't be knee deep in mud with your cock swinging in the wind.
So, I guess a brief overview of what the base plot of
Oh yeah, we haven't even covered plot.
is essentially what happens is this film crew disappears, and they're this big popular documentary film crew that has done tons of like big dramatic like war documentaries, genocides, like natural
life-changing
disasters.
stuff.
Yeah, big heavy shit. And
Make you think, you know.
they go missing, and they send this anthropologist into whatever jungle they're in, the Amazon, to find.
I don't know. I bet they say.
They probably do. You just didn't notice.
I honestly don't recall, but they
Yeah.
probably say.
So him, Chaco, and Miguel are going just to get the camera footage, and
Chaco and Miguel are his guides.
yeah,
Which these type of characters, I am just in love with these type of characters. They're like fringe guys who have respect for the tribal
Yeah, they get
aspect
what's
of
going
it.
on.
They understand what they have to do to communicate. They understand what they have to do to get along and not just get murked immediately by jungle tribes. They know the wildlife. They know the area. These like rad tracker type dudes. I love those characters. Love them, love them, love them.
and they're paired with honestly the main guy of the movie almost, the anthropologist guy.
Anthropologist guy.
And I think that's the first thing most people don't expect, is that the first like half of the movie is like painting the tribes, despite being cannibals, as like really human and really thought out. Like,
It's just how folk live out there.
They're like, and Miguel follows they follow the proper channels to interact with these cannibals, and they encounter no issue, none.
It's true.
No
They're
problem.
accepted with gusto, in fact.
Yeah, there's a whole deal with it. It's fucking super weird for a movie like this at this time when the cannibal films were just fucking constant.
When you think about the cannibal film that this must have been thought of as, is just, okay, here's these pagan tribes who will kill anybody different than them to eat them.
Yeah.
And that's not what's going on. There's a tribal dichotomy going on.
No, yeah, they explain like how the different tribes are set up, and that the only ones eating each other are like the current two highest,
The top two boys.
Yeah, the top two boys who are currently only they say like, oh yeah, they treat each other as fair
Tree
game.
people and swamp people.
Yeah.
The actual tribal names escape me. They were just
It's like the Yamamomos and
Yamamomos.
the
That sounds
Swastikaris or
kind
some
of
shit
right.
like that.
I mean,
It gets hard because later the camera crew in the videotapes they find starts saying it wrong. Like, they
Right.
don't remember what the fuck they're called.
well, that fucking first camera crew.
Yeah.
The people that they're okay. The anthropologist Chaco and Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
The camera crew that they're going in to find. You find out as the audience through regaining the lost footage that was hanging from trees.
So yeah, that's what another thing. They thought they were like cursed reliquaries that contained their power. They didn't want to fuck with them. They were like, we'll just hung them up over there.
Had no fucking idea what they were, and they have no frame of reference. You know, I don't find that hard to believe at all. That they didn't know what the fuck any of this shit was. You know, so after they go in, they make their peace with the tribes. They're kind of going through these different phases, and clearly something has happened in these different spots that they go and visit.
Yeah. Well, there's that one the little village where you find like the old guy is just super upset.
He's
and the house
mourning.
burned,
He's mourning a burnt hut.
and like one of the dudes got shot.
One of the
Like,
dudes
what
has a bullet wound, and
happened?
Miguel and Chaco help them with medicines, and
Chaco or Miguel gives him that switchblade.
he shows off his switchblade prominently, switching it and closing it, opening it, and
Showing
closing it,
them. It's
switching
super interesting, the patience
They love
you
it.
see that Chaco has.
Oh, he's
Chaco-
showing it off.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
showing it off completely. Makes it kind of hard to believe it's not the first switchblade they've seen.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, right? Doesn't matter.
It's one of the. It's almost like that might not be that good of a jungle tool. Something that needs a mechanism to work.
Right, yeah.
That's more something maybe
I mean, it's
Miguel
kind
owns.
of, once it's fucked, it's fucked. There's nothing they can do to fix it. So, anyway, it's
Sure, yeah.
regardless. You're going through these stages. You're finding the aftermath of a bunch of stuff until you find these film reels hanging from the trees next to this ball, this suspended ball of people.
Yeah.
Of people parts.
Oh, yeah.
Which is now just reduced to bones and clothing scraps and camera parts and just a ball of what they found, right? And so, upon retrieving these through peaceful interaction,
Yeah, no. The movie is not it's not Congo where they fucking storm in there and need to fight
just
their
lay
way out.
waste to the jungle.
No, yeah, they're super respectful.
Yeah, there's no Jesse Ventura with a minigun just.
And, like, the anthropologist gets down on the nudity at one point. Like,
Yeah.
everything gets taken off.
Where he's in the river.
Yeah.
And these probably about a good
Like 6 or 7.
6 or 7 just random tribal girls appear out of the brush to come and fucking speed bag his nutsack, pretty much.
Yeah, they do. They super control them.
They're just.
It makes you wonder, like, how many people are watching them at any given time.
He did not want to be there. That actor was not comfortable doing that at all.
It sells it, though, a little bit. You feel like, this is new for him.
Right, yeah, it's canon for the movie. It makes sense for the film they're doing. that this guy not only is this actor uncomfortable doing this, but this guy would also be uncomfortable in this situation. He's just a regular dude. So yeah, okay. So upon viewing these film reels, you realize that the first group to go through there, the film crew that they're hunting down that ended up in a ball of parts, was just the fucking biggest assholes.
Oh, they're
you
the
could
worst.
possibly be. They're so terrible, apathetic. What can you even say? They're just awful.
Yeah, no, they're the worst. I looked it up. The term is Mondo Film Tactics, and it's
Mondo Film Tactics.
It's a real thing where it basically describes what they do. Where they they start the fire on that hut to make it look like warfare at one point.
Yeah,
to kind of make it look more dramatic, and it kind of comes out in the film itself.
Like trying to catch them as they run out.
Yeah, it comes out in the film too, where like they're known for faking footage too. Like they're kind of like behind the scenes corporately. Everybody kind of knows what they're up to.
Just nobody really cares because they produce.
They make bank.
Yeah.
And it's so they're just they're abysmal.
Oh, it's so bad. There's that one scene where they find that tribal girl.
Yeah.
And they take turns raping her. And there's a woman in their group, and she's expressing reservation for them raping her, but only because they're filming it.
Yeah.
She's just mad that they're wasting the film because they only have a certain amount of film.
Are you going to even use this? Like, fucking stop. We only have 3
She
cameras.
doesn't care that they're raping this girl.
It's the logistics of their production that she gives a shit about.
What they do with this girl actually is one of the few things that I knew about this movie going in, where they impale her through the booty hole and out her mouth and stick her on the beach. And then what I didn't know is that they were faking a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, it's real fucking weird.
There was that little brief second where they have to tell the guy that he's filming.
He's like smiling.
He's smiling. He's like, look at this crazy. He's like, hey, we're rolling. And so he kind of like gets his game face on.
Yeah.
He's like,
hey, check it, we're filming. And he's like, and he like looks at the camera and like It's super fucking eerie.
It is strange, and it really starts to, because maybe they explain it and I didn't catch it, but whether they're always this insane and borderline murderous, or if the jungle kind of drove them to this in like a kind of Heart of Darkness kind of way, or what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Which one? If they said it, I didn't catch it.
I get the impression, based on how the corporate guys kind of know their tactics, that they might already be kind of fucked.
Like, they definitely were faking a bunch of shit.
I mean...
And we're doing it in not a very ethical way. But to think that it's gone this far before is...
The fact that how quick they go, I personally, I'm like, they probably are this bad.
Right?
They're probably rough.
But I don't know, like, because you see, when you're out there in a situation like that, there's nobody coming to check on you. There's no law. There's no cops out there. You know? Who knows if they have gone this nuts before? Mm-hmm. Burning huts down and shooting whatever the fuck they want. Those are the guys who chop the head off the turtle.
Yeah. They do the turtle, they shoot the pig.
They shoot the pig.
They kill the snake and the spider as well.
But
yeah, no, and they're just they're so shitty to these fucking tribal people.
They're so shitty, man. They're not even concerned with the fact that they might be human beings, these other tribal people.
To the point that, like, I think Cannibal Holocaust is outside of, like, Alive, where you want them to make it, is the only time I'm like, fucking kill them. Fucking please.
When
defend yourselves, tribe.
Yeah, for real. As soon as the brutal violence starts that this movie is famous for, that I thought I was going to get from front to back of this movie, as soon as that actual violence starts, I was super surprised by how ready and able I was to accept it, but how on the side of murder I was.
Yeah, it's the only time you side with the cannibals.
Kill them all.
Yeah, they need to be killed. This is fucked up.
Ridiculous. How...
Yeah, it's the only one where I'm like, they deserve this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah. Because usually in those tribal movies, where it's like a bunch of people in hula skirts, like, cutting people up and putting them in those, like, big Bugs Bunny cauldrons, where they think they're in a jacuzzi and they're chopping carrots in it.
Sure.
But this one was... It's a reflection on that, which makes sense when you were giving me a little bit of history about it.
Yeah.
It makes sense that, you know, this guy was just sick of making those movies because he's good at it. He's good at making those movies.
Made fucking a lot of money making them.
And he wanted to make a piece of art.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted to make another cannibal movie, so he says, well,
met him in the middle.
Let's split the difference. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, by the time they start killing these first camera crew, it's welcomed.
Yeah.
It's welcomed because they spent so long building up how much they deserve it.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
How sociopathic, psychopathic, apathetic. It was just unreal. That's the part that surprised me the most. How I knew there was going to be some brutal violence in it because this movie is world famous for that brutal violence, but I was not prepared for how able I was to get behind the violence.
It's and how, I mean, aside from the problematic animal killings, how kind of tame the movie is in a weird way. Yeah, it's really restrained.
It really is.
Like it gets graphic. There's some fucking real harsh imagery. Like the getting rid of the bad baby that they do in one scene.
Oh, yeah.
The spike, the impaled girl. There's a bit where somebody's like dressing a kill victim between like the warring tribes. You know,
that's right. When they roll up to that, like, on that riverbank. Yeah. And the two warring tribes are there. They're like, you know, gutting some people out.
But it's always treated like there's no glorification. There's no.
No, it's just life down there.
They just do it. It's super interesting. It's a fucking weird movie. It's an anomaly, and we haven't touched on yet. Like once they get that fucking camera footage,
I was gonna bring it up.
It becomes like they just go back to the city, and the rest of the movie is like.
Almost like
in New York.
Yeah, it's like a legal drama.
Yeah,
where
like, the corporation is like pushing to get this footage re-edited,
which is turned on its head even.
Yeah,
because it's not the fact that these people find the footage and now they have to fight to get it released. The people who found the footage are fighting to keep it from the public.
Yeah, they're like, no.
While the studio who bankrolled this whole thing is trying to recoup their money, so they're like, well, we have to release this because it's gonna, and they're trying to give merit to it by saying it's gonna, you know, educate people and change the way people think and all this type of stuff. And the anthropologist guy is just like, dude, you haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's like they don't. No, it's all bullshit. Everything in it's fake. They don't fucking know what they're talking about.
Yeah, there's no way to make this a win. And there's even just a tragic situation.
There's that great bit too where they're like, well, it doesn't seem that bad. And you're like, well, you didn't see the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, you didn't see the end of it.
You saw, it's like, I didn't fucking feel like I had the stomach to show, but I guess I'm gonna.
I guess if I have to, then I will. Come on in here. We're gonna screen this brutal murder orgy.
Yeah, and it's pretty brutal.
It is indeed. Which we talked about after we watched this movie. I think that the animal killings led to the realism of the people being killed.
Yeah.
Because for the time, even it's some pretty good effects. It's as far as the body parts and the disemboweling and all that type of stuff, which I couldn't believe, because this movie is also famous for people believing that it's real, like War of the Worlds style. They thought that these
people died,
that this actually happened.
Yeah.
And it took, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 8 minutes into the movie, and I was like, there's no way people thought this was real.
Was it the PMC group that
The PMC group.
action movies their way in to save
Oh,
or to get
man.
the hand back or whatever.
That one guy who's just got his camo shirt open and his medallion showing. He's my favorite. He's very good. And the way they just sweep the jungle with whatever gun they're holding. It's just so obvious a movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, as soon as the actual meat and potatoes murder starts happening, then it's like, oh, okay, I see how people thought this was real.
Sure.
Because they're not concentrating on the acting. They saw those. They saw the animals get killed, and that was absolutely 100% real. And now they're seeing these pretty good practical effects of disemboweling and murder. And it's pretty easy to see how people back in the day were turned on their head.
Definitely. It's nuts. It's a fucking...
Because it's graphic.
Yeah.
It's very graphic.
It's definitely one of those, like, you need to be able to handle what it's going to throw you.
Yes, but it earns it, though.
Yeah.
It earns it.
Well, it builds to it super slow. And just the matter that it almost softens what's happening on screen by you being like, good.
Yeah, right.
Fuck them.
They bought this.
Yeah. There's this little part, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but when he's showing the corporate people, there's a really fucked up part that happens, and then it cuts, like it stops, and they all start looking at each other, and there's a part where he looks over and goes, he's changing the reel.
Right.
I don't know if it was intended to be funny. I think it's one of the funniest fucking things. Like, it's such a good, if on purpose, a great comedic moment.
Right. I think it's more for... I mean, comedy might be a small factor, but it is just like it's like a deep breath. You know?
Because it's like it's gonna get worse.
Gandalf says, it's the deep breath before the plunge. Right? Because they think that's it. They're like, oh, well, that wasn't so bad.
It's like,
no, he's just changing the reel. There's a lot more.
Yeah.
I like the way that it's structured, too, because that is you see the really, really graphic murder of the first camera crew happen, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
The guy walks out there, the guy makes a phone call, says, hey, fucking burn this footage.
Burn this footage.
Burn it. That's his words. Burn this footage. And then the guy walks out, looks up at the Twin Towers,
World Trade Center,
and then walks off, and that's credits. It starts to roll. And I think it's really cool the way this is all happened. Like the final scene of the movie happened before the movie even started.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool way to put it together. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like the case closed moment.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, this is what everybody's been freaking out about, and this is why I've held my position the whole time, because you walked into seeing this.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the
You wanted
message
this.
he gives. Is it's like, no, like, you're the ones who want to watch this.
Yeah, you're the sick fucks. Which is kind of what the whole movie's about.
Yeah,
we're the sick fucks who want to watch this shit.
We're the sick fucks who want to watch it. We're the sick fucks who want to believe that all these tribes are just fucking irredeemable monsters. And here's like the only movie that's like, no, they're people with rules, and if you fucking come at them as like equals on their
come
terms,
in and you fucking poke a bear.
Yeah.
Look what happens. And
but you come in there nice and you fucking, you know,
respect their beliefs.
Give them something, you hang out.
Mm-hmm. You have some there to trade. That's right. It's a liver.
He eats a liver, a real people liver.
I don't know if it's a real people liver, but it's a real liver.
It's definitely liver. It's gross.
It's a real liver, like a raw liver. But it's more... I'm not sure how to word it. But... like, the whole... This is what you wanted to see. And the guy who made this movie, who did the prison time and all that, he makes the thing in extreme fashion, what everybody wants to see. And then he gets shit for showing it. He's like, well, isn't this what you wanted? Which is what the end of the movie is about. Yes. Isn't this what you wanted?
Yeah, it's, hey, you wanted to fucking see this. This is
here it is. This is what's actually going on out here.
I think it's like interesting too because it's also like, yeah, it's not so fucking cool when it's real, right?
Right.
Yeah, which
Right.
is. It makes the movie a really fascinating little piece of history.
It was a lot more fascinating than I was prepared to receive.
Definitely.
I thought it was just going to be a gore fest.
Dude, I've told people, like, if you're going to see one of these ever, make it the good one, I guess.
Yeah. It's the one to watch.
It ruins them for the rest of that genre. Like,
6 gajillion %, Matt.
there's
Because
no reason to watch any other movie.
I mean, I didn't watch any like tribal cannibal movies, of which there are billions. 98 million of which are made by the same guy who made Cannibal Holocaust. I didn't watch any of the tribal murder ones because I figured if we're gonna watch the seminal one, why bother with any other ones? It's just gonna water it down. And I'm glad I didn't. I was very surprised by this movie and just the depth I was not prepared for. But I'm happy I watched. I'm happy I've seen it, and I'm happy I was able to take it in context. I didn't just watch clips of the violence and think that's what it was.
You would lose so much. You would just
wouldn't get the movie.
Yeah, you walk away just thinking.
You haven't seen the movie. And the fact that that's what this movie is famous for, it's like only famous for the brutality.
And you can tell that that's like what everybody thinks of when you see any of like Green Inferno or any of those fucking movies where it's like you didn't watch it clearly. You read like Wikipedia and you know what it's about.
Yeah, you bought the Cliff Notes.
And you're trying to top the wrong part of the movie.
Yeah, you can't blame them too hard because there are so many of those type of movies where it is just murder for the sake, right?
Yeah.
But if anybody, I can't think of any way to do a better introspective look.
Yeah. I don't think
at this type of thing.
I think we're the wrong time to do it. I think it's...
Well, like if they try to remake it?
Yeah, I don't think there's even any possibility. I think,
what are you going to do?
I think the time has passed. Like, I think we're in such a world of, like... Right now we're in such a... for the best. We're in a transitionary period where everybody's a little up in arms about treating each other nice all the time.
For sure.
But, like, I feel like we're heading towards a nice... Like, eventually we're all just going to be like, yeah, live your fucking life, leave me alone.
Sure.
Harsh way to say it, but, like...
I mean, I don't think so.
Sure, that's the Klingon Federation member in me.
That's exactly right.
Live long and get the fuck out of my house.
Get out of my fucking face. Prosper or don't give a fuck.
Yeah, do your thing. But yeah, I don't think we could make it. They would fuck it up.
I don't think so.
They would
definitely. They would put like, I would like to see if they try to do it right. They'd get like, you get what did I say? Michael Shannon and Javier Bardem in it.
Michael Shannon is Javier Bardem as like Chaco and Miguel.
Javier Bardem is Chaco, and Michael Shannon is the anthropologist.
Yes, and then
Miguel get an unknown, hopefully.
Hell yeah, some stylish, awesome guy.
Yeah, Miguel, you said had no other credits, right?
No other credits. It's super weird. That guy might be real. Like that guy may have just come from the jungle.
Yeah, well, no, he just declared himself king out there.
Never came back.
And never, why would you?
But yeah.
But they would get like,
They'd fuck it up.
They would absolutely fuck it up.
I think they would try real hard to make it a fair and balanced look and be like, well, they're not, the camera crew wasn't bad, they're just like...
Right.
They just don't understand. And it's like, no, you don't fucking, that's not the point. The point was...
They don't understand so hard that they are just treating them like...
Which is real.
It's even shitty to treat animals this way. Yeah. Which we learned by the brutal murder of animals in this movie. Because it is... I would call it murder.
Yeah, it's fucking bad. Again, it's the worst part. It's the only part I can say is deplorable. And, like, honestly, you should have just fucking faked the animals.
Yeah, honestly. Or...
There's no reason to, but it was a different time. Like,
yeah, they didn't. I mean, they just didn't give a shit as hard.
Honestly,
it's not defending it, but it's the fact
they show it, which is a problem. But like, Milo and Otis killed like dozens of fucking pugs and pigs.
That's true.
I mean,
and that's absolutely fucked up as well.
yeah,
it's
fucking
straight murder.
Fucked up.
It is murder.
Never worth it.
No,
It's fucking fake.
for what? Especially for Milo Notice for that.
Yeah, fuck.
What the fuck you doing, man?
Yeah, no, it's
For this, at least, like, you can't call it worth it either. For this, for one, you know,
no,
living
it's
things,
not worth it. Period.
Living things died for a movie. Who gives a fuck? It is just a movie, but at least it's a movie that has some merit and meaning.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a merit and meaning nobody fucking knows about.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those movies that has such a reputation that nobody has the balls to watch it.
Yeah. For real. It's kind of fucking frustrating, honestly.
A little bit.
Because like I've suggested it, I've recommended it to people before, and I get like a fucking look.
Yeah.
Like a really.
Well, because it's considered like a smut film.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard that it's this weird diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Of those. It's.
You gotta be able to get through some shit.
No, yeah. That's why I curate who I recommend it to. Like it's
Yeah.
a very specific person. I didn't expect to have the size of audience. I thought it was gonna be you and me out here watching it alone. And then everybody was like, "Yeah, well, I can sit and watch it."
Yeah.
I mean, my views are known, but like, I don't know. Would you recommend this movie to people?
The same way you said, I would recommend it to a certain type of person.
Yeah, and always
Don't-
with that caveat of like, okay,
Yeah. Don't break the ice with Cannibal Holocaust.
yeah,
It's not a first date movie unless you're like on a Taxi Driver vibe. You know what I'm saying?
yes. Also a deep pull.
But you gotta be ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also not gonna be ready for what you think you're getting ready for.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to think about it, and you gotta see what they're going for while getting past things that shouldn't be and things that seem to have no meaning at first.
Yeah. It's definitely a weird reflection movie. Like you really almost got to sit and talk for a second about it.
Yeah, you really do have to bounce some of your feelings off somebody else, or else you're not going to get the full scope of it, because it's going to mean something else to everybody. I was so blown away by the how meta it was.
Yeah.
This is what you wanted to see. The corporate motherfuckers are us.
Yeah.
The audience as a whole.
They're serving us like what they think.
Yeah, this is what you wanted. You think you wanted this, but
They're
you don't want it.
the highest like money-making documentary team they have.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's.
And they are utter pieces of shit.
They're liars.
They are
embellishers.
Dispatched.
Yeah, they are
appropriately.
It's kind of fascinating. It's all. I mean, you know, you could read into it and be like, "That's what he intended." He's like, "We need to get rid of these people.
Right.
Like, we gotta stop."
Right. The subtext of it.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
I mean, I could see you easily taking it, being like, "No, it's like stop it." I mean, the last line is fucking. As he's it's heavy-handed as fuck, but as he's standing at the World Trade Centers, he's like, "Who's the real cannibals here anyway?"
Right.
It's like, yeah.
I mean, that's one of those times where like it was such a time where heavy-handedness is like par for the course.
Yeah, well, you know,
You're gonna get a little heavy-handed.
You didn't get
because the whole movie.
subtext at all.
You want to talk about heavy-handed? Just the whole fucking movie is pretty heavy-handed.
Yeah.
But you got to look through the heavy-handedness, and there's just nuggets of meta brilliance in there.
Yeah.
That I really, really enjoyed.
And just sheer like. They sat and they thought about like these tribes, what they looked like, how they acted.
Yeah, I
put
got
a lot of work in.
I'd like to maybe do some research on tribal way of life.
Yeah.
Like that, because I don't know much at all. But to see if this was based off of anything particular, because there really is a lot of lore that goes into like which tribes are fighting who. They don't punch down. Yeah. They only kill and eat each other, these top two tribes.
Even then, like, there's that weird line where they say that, like, they felt bad about killing the crew because they felt cursed now that they...
Yeah, they think they're cursed now.
It's fucking
But the crew was going so far...
Yeah,
they really left them no choice.
Which is that idea that they're, like... they somehow performed a taboo in their culture by doing that.
Right.
It's interesting. It's super interesting.
And you know what I find interesting too is that, and a little meta, I guess, is they, at the end, when you're watching the first camera crew just get murked substantially, a bunch of them would live if they didn't stop to film their friends being killed.
Yeah, because it would make it better. It'd just be a better movie.
Yeah. They say that a bunch of times.
Yeah. It's gotta keep rolling.
When they're hauling that girl away,
Yeah.
and the camera guy has to, he's stopping that guy. He's like, no, she's gone.
Dude,
and it doesn't
gone.
take any convincing at all.
Yeah.
This guy it's clear that the director guy and this girl have a relationship going on, and it takes no convincing to just be like, nah, leave her.
Yeah, she's done.
She's done. She's gone.
It's a it's a doozy.
It is. It's a very brutal movie. Jesus Christ. There ought to be a brutal counter for all these movies. I've said brutal like 15 times. But what's a synonym? What's another word? Mm-hmm. You know, it's brutal. It just
Nails it.
It fits so good. It bullseyes it. Because it is. It's just brutal.
It is.
And brutal for the way it presents itself, because like we had stated a bunch of times before, this is what people wanted out of these movies. They just wanted a bunch of murder. They didn't care what it was about. You think it's as popular as it is because, or I'm sorry, do you think it's as hated as it is because it made people think about it?
I don't know. I think it was just...
And people just wanted mindless
I think
gutting.
it was seen as just deplorable and nobody watched the movie. I think a muskrat got stabbed.
That's more likely.
And people checked out immediately.
It is more likely.
That's exactly what I think happened. And, I still see people to this day, like, people review it and talk about it. And you'll see people who, people I respect, like, opinions, like, reviews, will just go, like, it's deplorable, there's nothing of value here, it's a fucking twisted movie.
I wouldn't go that
made by, like, a hack director, and it's like, dude, no.
There's stuff of value in there.
There's stuff of value in shit, but, like, this is far from shit.
Yeah, it's not shit, but it is... There's some hurdles.
Yeah, it's like you can say after acknowledging the meta nature and the art of it is,
right,
and you can still condemn the fuck out of it and be like, yeah, I still think it's a horrible movie because of the lengths you went to. But to fucking pan it like that is like you're not
really paying attention, it seems.
Yeah, you're not getting it.
But that's a fucking weird line to walk. Yeah, because I didn't. It's hard.
It is hard
to watch. Only the animals.
Yeah.
Only the animals.
And only because it's real. I feel like if it was not real, it'd be whatever.
Yeah. Then it would just be another bit in a movie.
Yeah.
But they do. I'm telling you, they do that. They kill all these animals, and they do that real, so that you think it's real when the humans are being killed.
It's to enhance it, but it's really not fucking worth it.
Not a thing to do. All you aspiring filmmakers out there, do not take a page out of Cannibal Holocaust.
For that part.
For that part of it, anyway.
Well, I think we've said just about everything we can about.
I think so.
Pretty much the topic. I mean, other than closing thoughts of like, when it comes to cannibalism and like horror and like stuff like upsets you or disturbs you, like, where would you rank it essentially?
Right, cannibalism?
Sure.
As a whole?
Mm-hmm.
Man. It's never great. But as a horror movie trope, it's accepted.
It's accepted?
It's a thing that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's a tough question. Because I could take it or leave it, but at the same time, it does elevate things.
Yeah. But
cannibalism,
when used, essentially, like
when used properly.
Yeah.
Cannibalism, because cannibalism sometimes is just a throwaway thing in horror movies. which I feel like is used improperly because
It's usually the bullet points of like.
it can really heighten shit.
Oh yeah, especially when it's used as like facing something, like with parents or Cannibal Holocaust, even where it's just like,
Used as a metaphor for another hurdle in life. Because other hurdles in life can feel just as extreme as cannibalism.
Yeah, or just the default nature of like, well, it's like it's us eating each other, it's us climbing over each other to fucking survive. It's a fucking really powerful tool when it's
Properly utilized.
It's almost never good when it's just a bullet point. It's never good. I'll fucking say it. It's never good. It's never the thing you focus on. Like Mad Max, nobody gives a shit that they eat each other. They care about the fucking cars, and
It's a bit
it's just an aspect
of the world,
Like nobody really cares that they're eating people in Hills Have Eyes. Really, they do a lot of other shit in that movie that like warrants.
It's just that they're getting killed. Like it's got nothing to do with the fact that
it's just one more thing to be like, look how much worse they are.
Right.
But yeah, I'm with you. It's one of those like, it's either like whatever or like it's the thing that defines the work.
Yeah, it's a thing you can't really quantify because it either is center stage or like garnish on the plate.
Sure. Damn. Well,
Cannibalism, ladies and gentlemen.
it's a weird subject.
Don't do it.
Please don't do it.
Don't eat people.
So,
Well, you didn't need us to tell you that, hopefully.
yeah.
If you did need us to tell you that, I'm glad I told you that. I guess.
Well, we don't have a topic really slotted for the next one.
For the next one, we'll figure something
We'll
out.
stew it. We'll stew about it for a little bit. I'll make an announcement.
It's gotta be horror related.
Definitely. Midnight Hour will return. We have something we want to talk about.
It won't be too long.
It won't be too long. No, one of us will get a weird hair up our asses about something.
Exactly, because this is fun to do. Mm-hmm. So, if you guys like listening,
We certainly like talking.
give you something to listen to. We're gonna be talking anyway. You might as well put a fucking microphone there.